Chapter 3699. It's a hairpin. It's ancient in shape, but it's not good-looking. There's a lot of rust on it. It is 9 inches long. There is a bird lying on the head of the hairpin. Its tail looks like a spike of wheat and falls naturally. Because of too much rust, it is impossible to see what kind of bird it is. Man, how do you sell this thing? Long Chen pointed to the hairpin and asked. The stall was set up by a thin and frail man with sharp lips and shrewd face. When he saw Long Chen coming with Yu Qingxian and others, his eyes suddenly brightened. Brother, you really know how to buy goods. I tell you, this is a peerless treasure. Hello, you heard about me, don't leave. As soon as the man was about to start blowing, Long Chen got up and left. The man was busy standing up. Long Chen gives Yu Qingxian a sneak wink. Yu Qingxian is smart and immediately understands and walks along the path. The smart-looking man was disappointed when he saw that Yu Qingxian was not with Long Chen. However, he took Long Chen and said, Brother, don't go. We can't do business. It's not too late to go again. Even if you don't buy it, it's not too late. It's not bad for you to compare goods with 3 stores. Well, as Long Chen listened, this guy is not here to participate in the 3000 world, or he has come to deceive people to sell things. Long Chen looked around and saw that no one was staring at them. He whispered to the man, Brother, everyone is the same trade. Can you be more professional in selling black jobs? Phoenix hairpin is a pair of children. Only one phoenix and one phoenix can make a complete hairpin. Who told you that a single hairpin can be called phoenix hairpin? Do you mean Mandarin duck shovel, or only one shovel head? This. The man was slightly surprised. Besides, your glass will rust? How can you sell black work like that? How can those who do black work choose you? Convinced, Long Chen shook his head. It turned out to be an elder. It's really rude. The man threw a fist at Long Chen. The so-called black work is to sell something that can't be seen. The so-called invisible work does not mean that the source is unknown, but refers to those buried in the ground. To put it bluntly, it refers to the things in the tomb. The one who does the black work is the one who steals the tomb and the other sells the stolen goods. In sum, Mo Nian is the one who does the black work. But he has to give himself a title, archaeologist. In fact, no matter in Tianwu continent or in Xinjie, there are many black workers under his command. Because there are some things uncertain value, or it is not convenient for them to hand over to these people. Because there is no light in sight, many of the things that do black work are sold to those who sell them at very low prices, and those who sell them are usually profiteering. Typically, they don't open for 3 years, but open for 3 years. Therefore, if anyone takes a fancy to their things, they will cheat and kill them in the dead. Long Chen points out the identity of the man, that is, he will stop making up stories and waste everyone's time. Although Long Chen was rich in Tianwu, Mo Nian was no worse than he was. He was also rich. He had someone to help him sell his stolen goods. He kept what he could use, and disposed of all that he didn't need. The hairpin Long Chen's favorite hairpin is an object in a large tomb. If it is in the ordinary world, some people may be taboo against it, but in the fairyland, everyone understands the profound meaning of life and death and doesn't care about it at all. The reason why some objects are unknown and called black work is that some objects have amazing origins. If they are unique treasures of a certain big power, if they are found, they will be pursued to the ends of the earth. In particular, some objects are the burial objects of the ancestors. When these objects appear, later generations will know that the ancestral tombs have been stolen. Digging graves and digging tombs is also an endless feud in the fairyland. Therefore, some objects cannot be seen and can only be traded secretly. Don't mention it. I've changed my job for a long time. After all, although it's a huge profit, it's too risky to be a long-term solution. I'm here for 3000 worlds, but seeing so many people, I feel a little itchy. I want to run a single line, catch 2 fat sheep, get some money, and cast a net like you. I don't do it. Long Chen laughs. After seeing the dragon dust say running single line and casting the net, the guard color in the person's eyes slightly put down some, knowing that Long Chen is indeed an expert. The so-called net casting is that he swindles in the form of one-to-many stalls, and runs a single line. He starts to lay out and pave for one object, introduces the other party step by step into his own story, and finally reveals the treasure and sells it at the highest price. The way of casting the net can get more opportunities, but if you are good at running single track, you can basically run exactly one time, and the success rate is very high. However, the preliminary layout of betting is very time-consuming and laborious. The elder meant. The man tried. I'm here to see if there's any old thing suitable for running a roller. I'll open a picture for you to help you. Dragon Dust Road. Thank you very much, sir. I'll give you the best price. The man was overjoyed. The so-called running the mill means that it is easy to make up stories, follow the routine, and pass on the sacred objects. Dragon Dust nods a headway. I pick a few kinds of eye, also won't let you lose as long as don't be too dark good. Long Chen said, picking and picking, took 7 things, including the hairpin. Master, you have a good taste. The man was in a hurry. Get it, all the people in the industry, let's not play the routine, give a substantial price. Long Chen quickly waved his hand. Sorry, this professional habit. That person is a little embarrassed. In fact, even if someone finds a piece of dog excrement in his stall, he will say that the other party has a good eye. You take a few pieces, well, it'll give you a bleeding price, 100,000. I basically have no money. The man was very sincere. Well, the price is reasonable. I'll give you a price. Dragon Dust Road. Is it a bargain? How much more do you have? The man was a little uncomfortable. 10,000. Dragon Dust stretched out a finger path. 10,000? Master, are you wrong? Even if you kill me, you can't get the price? Absolutely not. At least 50,000. A price of 30,000. Dragon Dust Road. 40,000, 35,000. Transaction. The man agreed with a sore face. You don't have good vision, but your acting skills are good. 35,000. Immortal Wang Jing, you made me 32,000 with tears in your eyes. Long Chen laughs. Long Chen said so, the man's face changed, but when Long Chen threw 35,000 Immortal Wang Jing to him, he immediately beamed. You don't really make money, master. I'll give you a little cheaper this time. The man said with a smile. Obviously, even if it's 32,000, this guy has made a lot of money. Long Chen collected his things and was about to leave when he suddenly saw a woman coming from a distance. Long Chen's eyes turned and whispered to the man, Brother, my single line is coming. You can cooperate with me to make money, and we can make 5 by 1. After the transmission, Long Chen reached out to his stall, picked up a bronze coffin the size of a palm, and bit his teeth and said, At least 50 million? Can't it be cheaper? www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3750 million? The man was almost scared to sit down by the words of Dragon Dust. What's worth 50 million? He has been in this business for more than 300 years, but he has not made 50 million Immortal Wang Jing. It can be said that Long Chen's business of 35,000 immortals, Wang Jing, is already a big deal for him. Why don't you make a bargain at all? Will you do business? See that person muddled forced, Dragon Dust impatient tunnel. It's not cheap. It's really not cheap. Let me tell you, it's handed down by my grandfather's grandfather. Although the coffin is small, it is full of 3 generations of 9 Li characters. This is a seal. No one knows what is sealed inside. Our family has been unable to open it for generations, and my father, who is also my father, he the old man forced to open it. A black light came out of the box, and he turned into fly ash on the spot. I was only 6 years old at that time. I saw him die with my own eyes. The man said later, his voice choked and his tears fell. Damn it, you can be regarded as in a state. Long Chen asked in a hurry, the black air of your father's death shows the pattern of a flower. The flower has 6 petals, and each petal has a ghost pattern? How do you know? The man was shocked and looked at Long Chen in horror. The acting skill, damn it, even Long Chen almost believed it. What else do you see? Dragon Dust Road. The 6 faces opened their mouths and swallowed up the black fog my father had turned into. Then they turned into a black light and fell on the coffin. Did you see? It's from this character like the tortoise pattern to enter. At that time, I could see clearly that the word seemed to move, but after studying it for so many years, I couldn't find out. I hated it, but I also loved it and wanted to know what it was hiding. But I have self-knowledge. I'm afraid I can't understand it in my life. If I meet the right price, I will dispose of it. So, 5 I can't afford to give you less than this price. The man was biting his teeth. The man was so nervous that he forgot what the number Long Chen had just said. It seemed that it was 50 million yuan, and it seemed that it was 5 million yuan. He was not sure. Fortunately, this guy had good adaptability and didn't go through the gang. What was your father's cultivation at that time? Long Chen asked. My father was the king of the world at that time. The man was in a hurry. Long Chen glared. Ah, can't the king of the kingdom? The man looked at Long Chen with a puzzled face. Long Chen was so angry that he wanted to slap him in the face. You asked him so, didn't you go through the gang? I want you to speak highly of your father. What's okay? I'm asking your father's cultivation. Dragon dust reminds Wei. Oh, you asked about my father's cultivation. I thought you asked my father's identity. My father was the president of Qingxi State Boundary Kings Association, and his cultivation was already half-step deity. It's only a step away from God's respect. It's a pity that his old man died young, and our family withered in an instant. Since then I have lived a vagrant life. My father, my child is unfilial, and am ashamed of you. Dad, you have a spirit in heaven. I must protect my child to rebuild his family. Speaking of the sadness, the man wailed. Nima, are you going to act or not? It's too special, isn't it? Only a fool is a fool. But the play has been performed here, and Long Chen can only play it bravely. He takes out a space ring and says, okay, don't cry. I want this broken coffin, but you have to let me choose 2 more. Deal. The man was overjoyed and took the ring of dragon dust with both hands. Long Chen bent down to reach for the coffin, but there was no movement around. The heart of Long Chen was suddenly cool. It was in vain. This idiot's acting skills were too bad. But just as his hand was about to touch the small coffin, Long Chen grabbed an empty one, and Long Chen, surprised and angry, looked around and saw Juyo Luosha not far away. At this time, the small coffin was in her hands. If you want to die, you dare to rob me and put it down, or you will be killed today. Dragon dust angry Wei. Juyo Lucha held the small coffin, and a sneer appeared on his face. What an idiot! What is the youngest and most learned dean in the history of Lingxiao Academy? It's just deceiving the world. I don't even know the famous 1,000-character seal. If this coffin falls into your hand, it is also a secret. Only if it falls into my hand, it will develop. Now it is mine. When Juyo Luocha shook his hand, a space ring flew in front of the man. The man grasped it instinctively. When he saw the 50 million immortal Wang Jing inside, his heart didn't jump. The ring that Long Chen gave him was just an empty ring, but Juyo Luosha really paid for it, that is to say, they succeeded, and they were so successful. However, his body began to tremble, and a look of fear appeared in his eyes. Are you Long Chen, the youngest dean of Lingxiao Academy and the one who robbed Longting business firm? That's my sideline business. Just make some extra money. Okay, the deal is successful. According to the previous agreement, come on, 2-1 makes 5. Long Chen reached out and said. In the eyes of the 9 monsters, they were all frightened. They could not see the 2 monsters in a flash. Mr. Long Chen, I don't know Taishan. I want play this game. Hey, erase the 35,000 you just gave me. I'll give it to you. The face is white. Although money is a good thing, it has to be spent. What? I love money. I take it in a proper way. As long as I have that part, the rest is yours. In the end, Long Chen only collected 25 million Xianwanging and gave the rest to the man. Bang! At this time, Juyo Luocha finally knew that he had been cheated, crushed the coffin and found that there was nothing in it. Dragon dust. Jiuyo Luocha immediately gnawed her teeth. 50 million immortal Wang Jing was nothing, but she was played like a monkey. She was very angry. The man was scared to death. He held a space ring in his hand. He didn't dare to return it to Jiuyo Luocha. For a time, his tears were scared out. Well, with me she can't hurt you. Go. It's none of your business here. Dragon Dust Road. Seeing the promise of dragon dust, the man was immediately overjoyed. He bravely took out a teleportation symbol and started the teleportation symbol to leave directly. Don't look at me. I've made a lot of money and will never give it back to you. If you want to do it here, I will accompany you. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. As soon as Long Chen's words came out, the people who set up the stalls were scared to stop and retreat, giving up a good space. At this time, Yu Qingxian moves to Long Chen's side and quietly looks at Jiuyo Luocha. Is the apprentice of Dong Fangzichu, the princess of Zhuke Empire, very great? Jiuyo Luocha takes a look at Yu Qingxian. With a look of jealousy in his eyes, Jiuyo Luocha points to Long Chen and says, "Wait, you will be killed in 30,000 worlds." With that, Jiuyo Luocha even shook his head and left. Long Chen was slightly stunned. Jiuyo Luocha was afraid of Yu Qingxian? You are really bad enough to cheat money? You are not afraid of being scolded by the head of Lingshao Academy. Yu Qingxian looks at Long Chen and is angry. Long Chen had a deal with that man before. She hid in the distance and looked at him. The head of Lingshao Academy, who was the head of Lingshao Academy, robbed and cheated everywhere. There was no one else. I can do anything shameless for you. I tell you, I've got a big baby. With a satisfied look on his face, Long Chen took out the hairpin with a smile. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3701. This is the baby you got back by cheating. How can I not see where her treasure is? Yu Qingxian looked at the rusty hairpin for a long time, but he didn't see why. This hairpin has been used by several people, and these idiots have made it old several times in order to get a good price. Long Chen took out a white jade board and knocked the hairpin gently on the white jade board. With a slight sound, there were fine cracks on the hairpin, and the rust on the hairpin fell off after the dragon dust knocked it a few times. But even if the rust falls off, it doesn't show any luster, and it's still very rough. Long Chen knocked again, and fine cracks appeared on it. When the rust fell off, Yu Qingxian finally saw that there was a long-tailed bird on the tail of the hairpin. What kind of bird do you think this is? Long Chen asked. It looks like an ancient phoenix, but its head is too big and its mouth is bloated. I have never seen such a bird before. Yu Qingxian shook his head. Other people also looked at the hairpin, but they could not recognize it. There was humanity. The phoenix family also has big head branches. Their heads are big and their wisdom is higher. How could it be? Every branch of the Feng nationality has been recorded in historical materials. There is no such shape at all. Someone retorted on the spot. Long Chen smiles and knocks again. This time, the hairpin peels off a layer of rust. The bird's head is small, but its mouth is not small. It looks more strange. It's a bit like our empire totem, rosefinch, someone exclaimed. Don't talk nonsense. How can a rosefinch have such a mouth? There is humanity. Maybe it's a deformity, maybe? The man didn't agree. You don't want to die. Totem is something you can talk about? We should know that the rosefinch is a sacred symbol in the rosefinch empire, and it is also the totem of their belief. It is a great sin if someone hears it in the rosefinch empire. As soon as the man's face changed, he apologized in a hurry. Yu Qingxian looked at the bird with a look of surprise in her eyes. It looks like a rosefinch, but the mouth is too strange. Hey, keep watching. Long Chen laughs and knocks on the white jade board again. When a piece of rust falls off, the powerful people of Zhuke Empire, including Yu Qingxian, exclaim in a burst of surprise. Does the rosefinch spit beads? When the rust on the hairpin completely fell off, revealing the bird's true face, they were all shocked. It was indeed a rosefinch, with its long tail drooping and its wings slightly open, in the form of a song raised to the sky. In its mouth, it contained a small bead. Rosefinch spit beads refers to the rosefinch nirvana before, will spit the essence of the body, condensed into a bead. If nirvana succeeds, it will swallow it as the basis of rebirth. If nirvana fails, this bead will become priceless, because the fire of rosefinch is the fifth existence in the sky fire list. The fire of rosefinch, like the fire of golden crow, should be regarded as animal fire, but they can be evolved. The fire of rosefinch has evolved to the highest level, also known as nirvana fire. Jinwu fire evolved to the highest level, known as the sun's fire, but nirvana fire, ranking above the sun's fire. However, the fire of the rosefinch must be a nirvana after the success of nirvana, and after the 9 turns of natural disasters, each reincarnation is equivalent to a nirvana, which means that after 9 nirvana rebirth, it is the real nirvana fire. The Rosefinch Empire, the god of the Suzuki, worships the rosefinch totem. Therefore, the shape of the rosefinch spitting beads is deep into the soul. However, the rosefinch beads they saw were all murals, while the rosefinch on the hairpin was 3-dimensional, so no one recognized it. Now, after they recognized it, they were surprised. Although all kinds of pearl hairpins and golden hairpins could be decorated with various divine birds, including phoenix and phoenix, no one dared to decorate them with rosefinches. It is said that phoenix and phoenix are one of the descendants of the rosefinch and have inherited a part of the blood of the rosefinch. The totem of the phoenix is scattered in 9 days and 10 places. However, no one dares to paint its totem in the inner courtyard, let alone draw the pattern of rosefinch on clothes and create it on ornaments. It is said that the rosefinch is the spirit of heaven and earth. People who are close to the way of heaven and have deep blessings can be rewarded if they are close to them. Those who are short of life will only bring disaster if they are close to each other. Therefore, no one will wear rosefinch ornaments for those who practice it. If it is not done properly, it will be fatal. Even the Suzuki Empire, even the head of the state, had no rosefinch design on them. Even their identity plates were written with the word Juke in 9 Li characters, instead of using the design as a symbol. It can be said that the rosefinch pattern is a taboo, so they were surprised to see the rosefinch design hairpin. Beads in its mouth. Yu Qingxian carefully watched the bead the size of a grain of rice in the mouth of the rosefinch. A look of disbelief appeared in her beautiful eyes. It should be the pearl of nirvana. Unfortunately, it's too old to be eroded by the underground yin qi, and its power has almost disappeared. However, the fire hasn't been extinguished. Qingxian, try to nourish it with the power of fire. Maybe you can light it again. Dragon Dust Road. Dragon dust, this nirvana pearl is too precious. You found the hairpin. You can light it. Yu Qingxian shakes her head, saying that the nirvana pearl is a treasure that countless fire practitioners dare not dream of. If she ignites it, it will be tantamount to letting the nirvana pearl recognize the Lord. She is a little embarrassed. Are you kidding me? You want a man of mine to pin a hairpin on his head? Don't make people laugh to death? Don't make a fuss. Try it. If it doesn't work, you'll try again. Dragon Dust Road. Long Chen's expression makes Yu Qingxian laugh. Seeing Long Chen's resolute appearance, she is no longer polite. The jade finger reaches out, and a colorful flame slowly flows into the nirvana pearl. The flame is the rainbow flame. On the contrary, the spots of the rainbow of nirvana gradually disappeared on the surface of the rainbow, but there was no trace of the damage on the surface. People can't help but move. I'm afraid this hairpin has a different origin. It's hard for any magic weapon to resist the erosion of the dark and turbid air underground. Once it invades, it can no longer be removed. If it is forced to be removed, it will be damaged. However, this hairpin is safe and sound. All of a sudden, the nirvana bead trembled slightly, and then Longchen found that a vast world appeared in the bead the size of a rice grain, and in the center of that world, there was a huge figure, which was a rosefinch. For a moment, Yu Qingxian and Long Chen are shocked and can't believe everything in front of them. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3702, This is the Indestructible Will of the Rosefinch. Yu Qingxian was shocked. Maybe it can be reborn in another way. Dragon Dust did not expect this rose finch will be so strong, has been retained. Long Chen, thank you very much. You are so good. You have found all these treasures. Yu Qingxian looks at Long Chen with gratitude in her beautiful eyes. You know, this is the will of the rosefinch, and the sacred animal they believe in the Zhuke Empire is the rosefinch. This rosefinch golden hairpin is of great significance to her. In her flame, there is the power of faith, which is just the nourishment of the will of the rosefinch. Perhaps, the will of the rosefinch can give birth to a new spirit. Haha, it's just a small matter. I've been wandering in the world for so many years. I still have this insight. Long Chen laughs. Yu Qingxian looks at him with adoration. Long Chen is in a state of elation. My brother is shameless. I found out that clearly. Fire Ling Sun's voice, some disdain, also some grievances. When Long Chen passed by the stall, Huolinger told him that there were treasures on the stall, and Long Chen squatted down to bargain with the man. Huolinger's spiritual sense is amazing, especially after swallowing the flame of fire deficiency. It is more sensitive to the power of all kinds of flames. Without her, dragon dust could not find the rosefinch and plantain hairpin. Save face for my brother. They'll make it up to you later. Be obedient and obedient. The dragon's face is red, and hastened to comfort the little girl. Long Chen knows that this little girl wants to swallow the nirvana pearl, but the nirvana pearl has basically withered, and the energy is useless for her. It is absolutely impossible to get the fire of rosefinch. If it is swallowed up, it will be too cruel. Seeing the dragon dust said so, Huolinger didn't speak any more. She continued to sleep on the Qibao glazed tree. Since the Qibao glazed tree appeared, she and Leilinger were lying on the top and refused to come down. In their words, lying on the tree, I feel growing up every day, and my brain is getting smarter and smarter. Huolinger, come and help me. Lend me your power of fire. Dragon Dust Road. Brother, you take my strength as a favor, you are good or bad. The Fireling Sun toots the small mouth, some dissatisfaction tunnel. But his mouth is complaining, or give his own strength to the dragon dust fingers holding the rosefinch golden hairpin, endless power of fire into the golden hairpin. You know, Huolinger's power is extremely complex, and there are all kinds of forces. Unlike Yu Qingxian, when its power flows into the rosefinch and plantain hairpin. On the rosefinch's golden hairpin, a pattern gradually emerged, which was actually composed of runes smaller than the tip of a needle. At the same time, the rosefinch in nirvana became more active. This is. When Yu Qingxian saw those runes, he almost didn't jump. These runes are the ancestral pattern of Zhuke and the life rune of Zhuke. Each rune represents a kind of Zhuke magic power. When Huolinger's power is injected, the whole rosefinch golden hairpin looks like a magic weapon coming out of its sheath, and the rosefinch wakes up. On the rune, the Dao 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 Shen Hui is hanging down. In the divine radiance, it seems that the ancient rosefinch soars in the sky, leaving the colorful divine light, which is dreamlike and illusory, which makes people intoxicated. At this time, the rosefinch plantain hairpins seem to have been awakened to life, and even absorbed the power of the fire between heaven and earth. When it was almost done, dragon dust took back the power, so as not to consume too much of the power of the fire and make Huolinger uncomfortable. The glory of the rosefinch and the golden hairpin attracted countless people's eyes. They had a touch of envy and greed in their eyes, but they did not dare to have a bad heart, because they knew that the rosefinch empire could not be provoked. It's so beautiful, looking at the glittering and flowing light of the rosefinch's golden hairpin, Yu Qingxian couldn't help praising it. This rosefinch golden hairpin is a perfect match for you. It seems that it has been waiting for you. Come on, I'll help you put it on. Long Chen said with a smile, and then slowly inserted the rosefinch and the golden hairpin into Yu Qingchuan's bun. Yu Qingchuan's pretty face was hot. Long Chen's action was too intimate, especially in public, which made her feel a little shy. But feeling Long Chen's tenderness, her beautiful eyes, with a touch of joy, cleverly let Long Chen wear her gold hairpin, Wei Gonggong's warning, she had long forgotten. It's really beautiful. It's a perfect match for people and hairpins, which complement each other. Long Chen can't help exclaiming. Yu Qingxian had a beautiful appearance, but now the golden hairpin is on her head, and the divine radiance falls down. The whole person is covered with a sacred radiance, just like the 9-day Zuan's impulse to go down to earth and make people worship. Long Chen's eyes were full of excitement. Yu Qingxian got the treasure, but Long Chen was more happy than Yu Qingxian. The sincere smile moved Yu Qingxian. It seemed that even if the whole world abandoned her, this man would always stand by her side. The warm feeling could not be described by words. Your Highness, it seems that awakened the spirit of Rosefinch. Suddenly, a female disciple of the Zhuge Empire looked at Yu Qingchuan's head and couldn't believe the tunnel. After being reminded by the woman, everyone looks at Yu Qingxian. After careful observation, it seems that a light cluster appears behind her head. There is a mysterious shadow in the light. However, the light group was too dim, sometimes appeared and could not see clearly, but the strong people of the Rosefinch Empire were full of surprise in their eyes. Zhuge Shenhui refers to the ancient Zhuge spirit's care and blessing. Practitioners can communicate with it religiously. Zhuge Shenhui will continue to grow. When Shenhui is strong to a certain extent, it can launch attacks with the help of Zhuge Shenhui and can save lives at critical moments. It's said that after the power of the Rosefinch reaches the extreme, it can summon the spirit of the Rosefinch to the world. Of course, that's just a legend. There is no such record in history. However, the power of Zhuge Shenhui is well known in Zhuge Empire, and Zhuge Shenhui is also a symbol of identity. Once someone awakens Zhuge Shenhui, the person selected by Zhuge will have different identity. Even if a civilian awakens Zhuge Shenhui, he can be equal with the monarch in theory. Yu Qingxian herself was shocked. She did not expect that this rosefinch and golden hairpin brought her so many benefits, just like being in a dream. Point the day and await for it successful in the official career. If I do not mix well, remember to pull me up. Long Chen holds his fist and looks fawning. Yu Qingxian is amused by Long Chen and slaps him angrily. This guy is not good, but it makes people laugh. She likes to listen to him. She doesn't want to keep in touch with him. Fortunately, Duke Wei is not here, otherwise he will be nagged again. Qingxian, let me introduce you to my two brothers. Dragon Dust said words, with the crowd straight to Guoran and summer morning of the stall direction to go. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3703, How much is this bracelet? Yu Qingxian, a female disciple of the Zhuge Empire, suddenly fell in love with a jade bracelet on the stall. Sincerely? Sincerely by, give you a sincere price, 5,000 immortal Wang Jing, less one does not sell. The stall owner took a look at the woman and made a firm decision. After a while, the bracelet came to Long Chen's hand, and Long Chen handed the bracelet to the female disciple. Elder Martial Brother Long Chen, you are so good that you even won it in 1,500 yuan, saving me 35 immortal Wang Jing. That's my welfare for half a year. The girl disciple was excited when she got the bracelet. At first, she saw that the subject's tone was firm, and she thought that the owner was talking about the reserve price. Seeing that the bracelet was very exquisite and it was a top-notch piece of king's wear, she was ready to buy it. Long Chen can see at a glance that the stall owner is bullying her and not involved in the world, so he goes to help her negotiate the price, and finally takes the 1,500 yuan. Everyone is shocked. The price is too cost-effective. Elder Martial Brother Long Chen, can you teach us how to bargain? Another female disciple who worshipped the tunnel was ready to buy something, but when she went out for the first time, she didn't know how to bargain. Seeing that Long Chen was so powerful, she wanted to learn. Yu Qingxian watched Long Chen get along with these disciples so quickly, and he always had a smile on his face. Although Long Chen was wearing countless halos, he never seemed to take his identity seriously, let alone put on the airs of being superior. From this point, their personalities are really similar. Seeing so many disciples surrounded by Long Chen, he didn't treat him as an outsider, which is enough to prove his personal charm. Long Chen coughed and put on the posture of a senior bargainer. In fact, there are a lot of factors in bargaining. As for those things such as observing words and judging appearances, distinguishing values and so on, They are too profound for you to learn without a certain amount of time. But it doesn't matter. I have a quick way to teach you. Although I can't let you become a bargaining master immediately, at least you won't be killed too hard. Elder Marshal Brother Longchen, tell me quickly. We are listening. The crowd was excited. In fact, the most important thing in bargaining is not to be too shameful. If he dares to ask for 5,000, I dare to return 500. He will scold me. It doesn't matter if he scolds me. That's a good thing. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid that he hesitated for a moment, and then he said, I'm sorry if the deal is completed. Why didn't I dare to return 50? Longchen even said that he had 2 roles to play. All of them were immediately amused by Longchen and thought that Longchen was so funny. However, when Longchen said this, everyone understood that there was no lower limit to bargain. As long as he didn't want to be shameless, he would not suffer much. As a result, these disciples began to move and looked at Yu Qingxian. Yu Qingxian said with some helplessness, you can move freely, but pay attention to safety. Don't run too far. Hang up all the nameplates and send out signals if you have any problems. Thank you, Your Highness. Everyone was very happy. Hey, don't be so crazy. If Duke Wei suddenly comes back and sees me let you all go, we will be scolded together. Yu Qingxian told him. Your Highness is assured, we will go back there, and we will not go far away. A female disciple giggled, and then the group scattered. Yu Qingxian shook her head and looked at the smiling dragon dust and said, it's all you blame. I guess they'll lose all their money. These disciples were used to the rules and regulations in the Zhuge Empire. Now they are released to see everything fresh. They must buy a lot of things. They are afraid that they will run out of money and buy few useful things. Longchen said with a smile, who can say clearly about luck? Who can guarantee that they won't buy it? What's more, if you don't suffer losses or be cheated in this life, is it still called life? The strong pay their tuition fees. If they suffer losses and are deceived, they should pay tuition fees by buying lessons. I can't tell you. Yu Qingxian said with a helpless smile that some of Longchen's words were obviously unreasonable, but she was unable to refute them. When they came to Guoran's and Xiachen's stalls, they found that all the things they put were sold almost. There were only a few dozen of them left, and none of Guoran's things were left. I've met Miss Qingxian. When Longchen arrived, Guoran and Xiachen quickly got up to salute Yu Qingxian. Longchen took care of them and did not mention the Tianwu land. It would be the first time they met. Yu Qingxian quickly returned the salute. Longchen said, let me introduce you to Guoran, an excellent caster. This is Xiachen, a gifted rune master. Both of them are my brothers in life and death. Both sides met politely a few words. Guoran Wei, boss, you come to help us watch the point stall, we go out to turn. Let me see the stall? Longchen could hardly believe his ears. Yes, everything has been sold out. Xiachen and I have made a lot of money. We are going to buy something we want. At the same time, we will see if we can get some goods, buy low and sell high, and make more money. Guoran stands out. I can't help it. Both of them are good things. Experts can tell at a glance that although the price is a little high, these are life-saving things, and they are soon sold out. The first time they did business, they were so prosperous. They didn't expect that now they want to go out and buy something. Dragon Dust helpless, had to help 2 people look at the stall. The 2 brothers happily ran, instant no shadow. Dragon Dust, why do you feel strange when you 2 brothers look at me? After they left, Yu Qingxian and Longchen watched the stall together, and they couldn't help asking. Of course, it's strange. Seeing that Yu Qingxian doesn't know both of them, Xiachen and Guoran naturally feel strange. They are afraid to show their horses' feet, so they can only run away. The 2 of them have never seen the world. They are awed by your charm and dare not look at you. Longchen laughs. Yu Qingxian takes a look at Longchen and knows that he is talking nonsense. However, he does not continue to ask questions. How much is this rune? All of a sudden, a girl came over and asked, pointing to a rune. 8,000 immortals Wang Jing Dragon Dust Road. In fact, this Dundee Fu on the market sold about 700, but here, the price must be higher. 500, said the girl. They'll go. It's too hard to bargain. Will you make a counteroffer? Long Chun couldn't help laughing. The woman had no idea about the market of Fujuan. Seeing the girl's counteroffer, Yu Qingxian laughs. You're more aggressive in your offer. It would be nice if they didn't pay you back 100. My mother said she would pay half the price. The girl was a little embarrassed and said that she didn't have much experience in bargaining. Well, then, let's go back and ask again. Dragon Dust Road. The girl was obedient, pointing to the Fujuan. She asked again, how much is the Dundee Fu? 2,000, all right, make a counteroffer. Long Chun answered directly. The girl was stunned and looked at the dragon dust. Then him still 1,000? Transaction. After Long Chun finished, he handed the Dundee Fu to the girl. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37. For the girl's face was strange. She felt that something was wrong, but she couldn't say it. Seeing that Long Chun handed over the seal script, she gave 1,000 immortal Wang Jing to Long Chun. Yu Qingxian can't help laughing behind Long Chun. She knows that she can't laugh at this time. Otherwise, she will dismantle the platform of Long Chun, but she can't help it. Long Chun collected Wang Jing, 1,000 immortals, and saw that the girl was about to leave. Long Chun stopped her and took down another seal script from the stall and handed it to her and said, this stall is now engaged in activities. Buy one free one, buy escape rune, and send a double amulet. Congratulations, girl. Wow, am I so lucky? Thank you. The girl was so excited that she took Fujuan and said thanks to Long Chun. You're losing money. I'm afraid Wang Jing can't buy such a quality double talisman without 5,000 immortals. Yu Qingxian said with a smile that she knew something about Fujuan. Looking at the girl leaving, Long Chun could not help shaking his head. No way, in this world, there are always a group of people, stupid people heartache. Long Chun is not a bad person, but when he meets such a fool, he always feels that he can earn her money. Some of them are not practical and don't give her something. Fortunately, he can't meet such a fool every day. Otherwise, he won't be defeated enough. Why are you looking at me like this? Long Chun suddenly finds that Yu Qingxian looks at herself with a strange look in her eyes. You are actually a good man, a very good man. Yu Qingxian looks at Long Chun in a soft voice. Hey, I love to hear this, especially what you say. I like to hear it more than you say it. Long Chun said with a smile. Yu Qingxian also laughed, and her beautiful eyes were staring at Long Chun's eyes. You are a kind-hearted person. Why do you become a devil because of me? Long Chun knows that the devil he said refers to the last time he broke out in the world of fire. Long Chun shook his head and said, I don't know. Anyway, I absolutely don't allow anyone to hurt you, good or evil. As long as I can protect you, I don't care about anything. Yu Qingxian beamed, showing her neat teeth. Her eyes were full of happy smiles. She said, Long Chun, do you know? My father recognized me only recently. Originally, I always thought that my parents had already died. It was the master who brought me up. It was not until the end of the Tianhuo world that the master told me about my life experience and took me to recognize my parents. I knew that I was actually the princess of the Zhuke Empire. Don't say I don't know, even the whole Rosefinch Empire, few people know, but I don't know why they gave birth to me and sent me away directly. I was brought up by the master. I am very grateful and awed by the master. But I don't know why, I can't feel the warmth of family affection in them. The master is the lord of a family, and the father is the king of a country. They have a kind of high breath on them, which makes me feel in awe. I want to keep a distance from them. I have always been kind to others, but I have not made a real friend. They also fear me, worship me, approach me, either listen to me or want my pills. Only when I am with you can I feel free and relaxed, you know? In this world, you are my only friend. Long Chun looks at the tenderness in Yu Qingxian's eyes. This look suddenly touches the weakest part of Long Chun's heart. Because as like as two peas in the sky, Yes' eyes are almost the same as she is now when he death of a beauty. Unconsciously, Long Chen's tears slowly fall. She is her, absolutely can't be wrong. Although time and space are disordered, some can't be right, but Long Chen is sure that they are the same person. The woman who loved him for 1,000 years, every time with his own life, tried to wake up his infatuated woman, he finally found her. In the past, although Long Chen said to himself that she was Yu Qingxian and Yu Qingxian was her, he was still not sure. But today, seeing her eyes at the moment, Long Chen's heart finally settled down. I finally found you. Long Chen choked. Why are you crying? Yu Qingxian is in a hurry and takes out a handkerchief to wipe his tears for Long Chen. I am happy to be your only friend, I am so happy. Dragon Dust Road. He doesn't want to tell Yu Qingxian what happened before. He owes Yu Qingxian too much. He doesn't want Yu Qingxian to be burdened by the past. He wants to use his own strength to make her fall in love with herself again, instead of using the shackles of the past. Wipe your tears away, or people will think I'm bullying you. The youngest dean of Lingshao Academy in history is a crying ghost. Yu Qingxian said with a smile that he asked Long Chen to wipe his own tears, but actually he was helping him wipe his tears. The face of the enemy, but the most close to me will laugh at me because I will smile. Oh, boy. How much do you sell this? Long Chen is talking to Yu Qingxian when a man with a face full of flesh and blood suddenly comes over and points to a piece of fuzhuan in a loud voice. Roll. Long Chen is sensational here. The man is so open-minded that he directly drinks coldly. The man was very angry, but with a look at the dragon dust, his hair stood up suddenly, and he was so scared that he didn't dare to say anything and left. You are fierce. How can you do business like this? Yu Qingxian covered his mouth and said with a smile. I'm not a businessman at all. Robbery is my main business. That guy is not a good bird at first. He's too lazy to earn his money. Long Chen explains that in fact, Long Chen doesn't need money at all. He just wants to say a few words with Yu Qingxian. Little brother, how do you sell this seal script? A little girl with a ponytail came up and saw a seal character. Her eyes brightened and she asked in a hurry. Take it away. It's free. Long Chen waved his hand. At first, the little girl thought that Long Chen was joking. She didn't realize that it was a joke until he gave her the seal script and drove her away. What? It's free to see a beautiful girl. Yu Qingxian said with a smile. Although I don't like the spirit of my family, it's hard for me to collect money from her family. Long Chen shook his head, looked around suddenly and said quietly, it's mainly because I didn't carve these seal characters. I don't care about giving gifts to others. Long Chen's frown and eye winking made Yu Qingxian giggle. All of a sudden, the plaque on Yu Qingchuan's waist lit up, and Yu Qingchuan's face suddenly changed. No, our people are in trouble. www. Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3705 Long Chen simply collected the stall and ran away with Yu Qingxian. Long Chen wanted to say hello to Xia Chen and Guoran, but they didn't know where they had gone. Through the bustling crowd, Long Chen soon found that several female disciples of the Zhuge Empire were surrounded by a group of people. It's from the Imperial Seal. Yu Qingchuan's face changed slightly. Who is that? Long Chen can't help asking. An empire that is not very powerful. Although it is not good with our Rosefinch Empire, it does not have much hatred. However, I don't know why, in recent years, I began to keep targeting the Rosefinch Empire. I have just returned to the Rosefinch Empire, and I don't know a lot of things between the empires. I can only tell which empire they belong to from their clothes and their nameplates. Yu Qingxian said. What will you do then? Fight them? Long Chen asked. I don't know. I haven't dealt with such a thing. It's a pity that if only Duke Wei were here at this time. Yu Qingxian felt that Duke Wei was not worthless. I don't care what you do, but as long as someone dares to be rude to you, you'll be rude to him. The dragon dust Wei, he first said the ugly words in front of, lest for a while hit the person falls to complain. Long Chen has only one means to deal with such a matter, that is, to hit each other's teeth all over the ground, and to kneel down to beg for mercy. Haha, the chicks of the Zhuge Empire are pretty why? If you're invited to have a drink, don't you give me any face? A man with a folding fan, crown and white face, looking at the female disciples of the Zhuge Empire, said with a smile, his eyes were full of mischief. He was dressed in splendid clothes with gold medals on his waist. He seemed to have a lot of status. Behind him were dozens of strong men, each of whom was the peak of the divine king, with a strong breath. These people surrounded the female disciples of the Rosefinch Empire and looked up and down one by one with a look of rudeness and provocation. There were a lot of stalls around, but seeing this posture, many people put up their stalls and hid far away. These empire people could not be provoked. If you wear this leather, you represent the imperial seal. If you are so aggressive, don't you pay attention to our Rosefinch Empire? Among the women of the Zhuge Empire, some stood out and walked coldly. At this time, Long Chen and Yu Qingxian have come to see them from a distance. The woman standing up, known by Long Chen, is the first person to stand up and ask him to teach them how to bargain. This Yin Ting is lively and eloquent. Once she exports, she gives that person a big hat to challenge the Zhuge Empire. No, 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 the imperial seal and the imperial rosefinch have been close to each other for generations. How can we not pay attention to the Rosefinch Empire? Since the two countries love each other, it's better for us to drink and play together? The young man in the golden crown, with a smile, showed the appearance of a dandy. Although he said that the two countries have been friendly for generations, his eyes were full of disdain. It is obvious that he came to find trouble on purpose today. Yin Ting sneered, "Drink a wine, naturally not what?" However, people need to have self-knowledge. They look like grandma is not pro, uncle does not love, do not know? I feel sick when I see you. What else do you drink? If you don't want to go to trouble, stay away from us. Our Royal Highness is near. Don't be too presumptuous. Princess? The wild princess of unknown origin? It's funny. Even if she comes in person, I won't pay attention to it. The young man in the golden crown looked scornful. You are presumptuous. Yin Ting is furious. What can you do? Are you going to kill me? The young man with a gold crown smiles, and looks like you can do with me. The other powerful men of the imperial seal also laughed, and the encirclement was tightened. They did not take out weapons, nor did they have any hostility, but they deliberately approached them and teased them. If the people of the imperial seal do not do it, Yin Ting, and they cannot easily do it. You know, once they do, it is related to the disputes between the two countries, and they cannot bear such responsibility. But in such a stalemate as women, they are so close to them that they are the only ones who suffer. Therefore Yin Ting is angry and anxious. She would like to kill the people around her with one sword, but she dare not do it. She can only wait for Yu Qingxian to make a decision. Whether you want to be killed or not depends on your mood. As for the fact that you do not deserve to be beaten, it will be over if I beat you or not. At this time, a voice full of arrogance came. Hearing that voice, Yin Ting and others were overjoyed. They suddenly recognized that it was the voice of Long Chen. As expected, as soon as the voice fell, Long Chen and Yu Qingxian came side by side. Oh, isn't this the princess who suddenly appeared in the Rosefinch Empire? It said that you are of unknown origin and uncertain identity. You have made a lot of noise in the Rosefinch Empire. When the young man with a gold crown saw Yu Qingxian, his eyes brightened, and then he said with a smile. As for Long Chen, he ignored him directly. I don't make trouble, but am not afraid of anything. Let your people leave, otherwise. Yu Qingxian said coldly. Otherwise what? The young man in the golden crown, with a smile and a look of disapproval, his eyes still swept around Yu Qingxian. Pa! All of a sudden, Long Chen slapped him in the face with a bang. The young man with a gold crown was slapped into a blood mist by the slap of dragon dust, which broke not only the physical body but also the Yuan god. All the people were shocked. Those powerful people of the Imperial Seal Empire were even more stupid and could not believe everything in front of them. Dragon dust too. Even Yu Qingxian was startled. It was agreed before that if they make trouble without reason, Long Chen will beat them up, but he can't kill people because it is related to the dispute between the two countries, so we can't act rashly. But now, Long Chen slapped the young man with the golden crown to death. Yu Qingxian was stunned. I'm sorry, it seems a little bit big. Long Chen looked at his hand and saw the scattered blood mist. His face was a little awkward. In fact, When the young man with a gold crown looked at Yu Qingxian and scrupulously with his eyes, Long Chen was furious. In his rage, where could he control his power? You dare to kill our Prince Pengao? Are you going to start a war between the two countries? A strong man of the Imperial Seal Empire, surprised and angry, pointed to the dragon dust and said, "Poof!" With a big wave of his hand, Long Chen waved in the air this time, and an arrow went through the void and penetrated the man's brow. "How dare you dance in front of my boss? It's all twisted, isn't it?" At this time, Guoran and Xiachen arrived. Guoran was afraid that the world would not be in disorder. His eyes scanned all directions, and he looked at Laozi as the first in the world. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3706, You Who Are You? The strong man of the Imperial Seal, terrified, boldly exclaimed. Horizontal. Guoran Runrun's voice will start to sing his broken poem again. All of a sudden, thousands of powerful people surrounded the place. All of these people were dressed in the clothes of the Imperial Seal Empire. The first one was a man wrapped in flames. He is tall and tall. His whole body is full of flame and chi and blood. His blood essence is like a volcano which has been silent for hundreds of millions of years and is about to erupt at any time. The most shocking thing is that in his eyes, there is a flame pattern. It seems that two rotating suns can be seen between opening and closing, which gives people a strong sense of oppression. This is a very powerful man. As soon as he arrived, the breath was oppressed by others. Those who dare to kill my Imperial Seal, do you know how to write the word death? The most powerful one, wrapped in flames, cried out in anger. His voice was like rolling thunder, which made the void bright and dark. He could even see the endless power of fire flowing between heaven and earth. He was like a god of fire coming into the world, which made people dare not look at him. What is the Imperial Seal? In front of me, Guoran, is the dragon you give the plate, is the tiger you give me to lie down, do not accept? Just call it until you take it. Guoran's performance was interrupted, can't help but be angry, looking at the flame wrapped by the supreme strong sneer. Looking for death, one of the most powerful people surrounded by the flame was furious. Suddenly, his body moved, and his spear was like electricity, and he took Guoran's throat. If he didn't agree with him, he started directly. Moreover, the attack revealed no reservation. It seemed that he wanted to kill Guoran. Seeing the man's hand, Long Chen's eyes narrowed into a slit in an instant. Unconsciously, the intention of killing began to spread in his chest. These people are so arrogant. Kill him, Long Chen said coldly. Pa! As Long Chen's voice fell, the long gun wrapped in flames stopped in front of Guoran's chest, and a big hand grasped the tip of the gun. The supreme power of the Imperial Seal Empire, his pupil suddenly shrinks. At the moment of Guoran's hand, he finds that Guoran is also a supreme power. It turns out that Guoran's arm is not his own. When he does not use the power of the supreme arm, no one can detect his breath. In fact, this is what Guoran did on purpose. Only in this way can he pretend to be a pig eating a tiger and paralyze each other. Fast back, the most powerful man surrounded by the fire yelled. Poof! Unfortunately, Guoran didn't give him the chance. The supreme arm fired force and pushed the spear forward. The supreme arm glowed, and the overwhelming force hit the man hard along the long gun. The man didn't even hum a sound and burst in an instant. It's ridiculous that you dare to come out and show your eyes. It's ridiculous that you can shake a big tree. Guoran sneered and threw the spear in his hand. The long flame gun went straight to the most powerful one. Bang! The most powerful man of the Imperial Seal Empire reached out and grasped the spear, and there was a bang at his feet. Obviously, if Guoran threw it casually, it contained supreme power. Ordinary people would be shocked to death if they were forced to accept it. Guoran's blow was to try to see the depth of this man. Who is your excellency? Are you going to fight against our Imperial Seal? Surrounded by the flame, the supreme strongman snapped. Obviously, he didn't expect that he would suddenly kill a supreme power. To know, There is a huge power hidden behind the supreme power. He needs to know what the identity of the other party is. I am under the dragon dust seat, and Guoran, the commander-in-chief of the Dragon Blood Army, is also. Guoran with a face full of pride. Dragon Blood Army? You're talking nonsense. You've never heard of it. A strong man of the Imperial Seal Rage. It doesn't matter if you haven't heard of it. In the future, you will know, because the name of the Dragon Blood Army will soon spread throughout 9 days and 10 places, and the whole world will tremble with this name. Guoran is very confident. Boy, I don't care what your origin is. I ask you, do you want to go through this muddy water today? Surrounded by the flame, the supreme strong cold tunnel. His so-called muddy water refers to the matter between the Imperial Seal Empire and the Zhuke Empire. He is trying to find out whether Guoran is with the Zhuke Empire. I'm in the rough water. I only listen to my boss. Are you blind or deaf? I have said that I am the commander-in-chief of the Dragon Blood Army under the Dragon Dust seat. The Dragon Dust boss is there. Can't you see it? Guoran sneered. He was too lazy to talk nonsense with this man. He was not good at talking. Now that he had the supreme arm, he felt that whoever could move his hand should try not to make a noise. Dragon Dust. Surrounded by the flame, the supreme power awakens and looks at you Qingxian and Long Qin. Are you Dragon Dust? Are you brave enough to interfere in the affairs of the two countries? The supreme power wrapped in the flame looks at the Dragon Dust Road. Don't talk nonsense, and you don't need to try. The business of Zhuke Empire is Qingchuans, and Longchens. But my Dragon Dust work is very simple, life and death is indifferent. Do not accept to do, you these routines I did not play when I was a child. So, be simple, either roll or die. You can choose one of the two roads. Longshan Cold Tunnel. The former strong man with a gold crown said that Yu Qingxian was a wild princess, and the fire of Long Chen suddenly came up. Just now, the man attacked Guoran and clearly didn't take other people's lives seriously. In this case, Long Chen has nothing to be polite about. Aren't you arrogant? Let you know today what arrogance is. Ha ha ha. The supreme power wrapped in the flames suddenly looked up at the sky and burst into laughter. The laughter was full of killing intention. Well, I congratulate Chang Tian for the first time in his life that someone dares to speak to me in such a tone. It's very good, very good. Since you want to die, it'll help you. No one else should get out of the way. I'm going to kill a lot. He Chang Tian? He is the third prince of the Imperial Seal Empire. He has the power of heavenly fire. He has fought countless battles in his life, but he has never been defeated. Some people exclaim that he Chang Tian, the Emperor of the Imperial Seal, is very famous, but few people have seen him. People can't imagine that they saw him here. With He Changshan's roar, those who surrounded Yin Ting fled one after another. Yin Ting and others hid behind Yu Qingxian. At this time, other disciples of the Zhuke Empire came one after another, holding their weapons one by one and preparing for a war at any time. Dragon Dust. Yu Qingxian is a little nervous. She is not afraid of fighting. However, she feels that this incident involves the two countries. If it is not handled properly, it may cause great disaster. Dragon Dust smile, comfort way. Don't be afraid, this matter has nothing to do with the Rosefinch Empire, it is the dispute between our Dragon Blood Army and the Imperial Seal. After that, Long Chen looked at He Changtan and said in a light way, don't say that you have not been given a chance. At present, there are only 3 people in our Dragon Blood Army. You can challenge anyone. Heroes from all over the world testify. Today's World War I will not only be superior but also determine life and death. Speaking, Long Chen and Guoran, Xiachen stood together. At that moment, countless people were shocked and couldn't believe to look at the 3 people. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3707 To launch a life and death battle? For a while, countless people blew up their nests. You know, the people who come here are arrogant, have countless frictions and keep fighting. However, there is no real battle between life and death, because all major forces are protected by strong ones, and the disciples do not pay attention to trifles. However, they are going to die, and these old guys are going to show up. Although Tianjiao people are temperamental and extremely conceited, they are not willing to expose their cards in front of others. Even if they encounter enemies of life and death, they will keep calm and wait until they enter the 3000 world before settling down. Therefore, even if there are continuous disputes, all people will exercise restraint. If they can't restrain themselves, the strong of the older generation will come forward and stop their fight, so that they cannot lose face. It is very rare for the dragon dust to directly launch a battle of life and death. As soon as the dragon dust talks, the whole world seems to be quiet. They can't believe it and look at Longchen and He Changtian. Some of the powerful people who set up the stalls even stopped the stalls and came to watch the fun. Countless strong people whispered in the distance, wondering whether they would fight or not. Interestingly, He Changtian is one of the 7 sons of the Imperial Seal. There are 7 supreme princes in the Imperial Seal generation. It can be said that He Changtian has never appeared since the birth of the Imperial Seal. The present Imperial Seal Empire is not the former one. It is expanding very much. It used to be a subsidiary of the Rosefinch Empire. It is like a dog. Now, this dog is backed up by someone and is starting to bite its master. Some people have a sneer on their faces. Many people still know something about the Imperial Seal. The imperial power of the Imperial Seal is not strong. In the past, it was ostensibly friendly with the Zhuge Empire. In fact, it was under the protection of the empire that it could not be annexed. The Imperial Seal, which borders on the Zhuge Empire, has to protect the Imperial Seal. Otherwise, if the Imperial Seal is occupied by the enemy, it will be tantamount to a fierce beast lying around and sleepless all night. The so-called friendship between the two countries is just the connection of interest chains. Now the Imperial Seal Empire is becoming more and more powerful and has begun to expand. In recent years, it has begun to take many measures against the Rosefinch Empire which are unacceptable to the Rosefinch Empire. Finally, the relationship between the two countries has fallen to the freezing point. Now the people of the Imperial Seal Empire and the people surrounding the Rosefinch Empire are provocative. Everyone knows what is going on in their hearts. However, people have always been unable to understand how powerful the Rosefinch Empire is. How could it have been allowed to be provoked by the Imperial Seal instead of fighting back? Is it true that the legend is true and there is something wrong with the Rosefinch Empire? But now, things seem to make a lot of noise. More and more people are watching the show. However, the dragon dust is not a person of the Zhuge Empire. What is his action? Some people can't help but wonder. You don't know, do you have a response? That dragon dust, but a ruthless role in the world of fire, with his own strength to kill the 8 strong enemy. He killed most of the creatures who entered the world of fire, and finally killed the son of Yen Su alive. The reason why he killed Yenza's son was that Yu Qingxian, at that time, no one knew that she was the princess of Zhuge Empire. Didn't he just say that Yu Qingchuan's affair is his affair? I'll tell you, this dragon dust is a super terrifying figure. There's a play to watch today. People looked at Long Chen and whispered to each other. Many people didn't know Long Chen and inquired about the origin of Long Chen. Of course, some people did not know He Changtian, but also inquired about He Changxian's details. The 3 people of Long Chen stood together and looked at He Changtian coldly. Gua Ran secretly moved forward half a step and was pulled back by Xia Chen. You can't be too shameless. How much publicity have you made? Don't you know what the boss means? Obviously, Gua Ran wants to make a more aggressive gesture, and then let He Changtian challenge him. During this period he has made great progress, especially eager to meet a strong opponent to verify his real strength. Although Xia Chen is low-key, he is also the top talent in the Fu Tianxing region. He is also proud in his heart. However, in Juyou Island, he was beaten for a long time. Later, with the help of Qibao Glaze Tree, he kept on understanding the ancient Fuzhuan. He also made several array plates and unique moves, and also wanted to find a super strong person to try his skill. If it is normal, he will not compete with Gua Ran, but at this time he urgently needs a battle to assess his own achievements. Therefore he must do his duty. Looking at the eager appearance of Xia Chen and Gua Ran, some people were shocked and others ridiculed. They thought they were stupid and did not know He Changshan's terror. They were typical frogs at the bottom of the well. He Changshan's eyes are full of murder. It's obvious that the three people of dragon dust don't pay attention to him at all, which is a great shame to him. Since you want to die, I'll help you. The three of you will do well together. Today, we will not die. He Changshan's voice was cold, his hands pulled, and his robe was torn to pieces, revealing a set of fire-red armor inside. One of the 4 national treasures of the state of Tianxi, Tianhua battle armor. With an exclamation, Yin Ting recognized the world-famous boundary artifact. Sky Fire Battle Armor is a fire attribute divine armor. It is a set of scales. On each scale there is a flame rune. Each flame rune is branded with the fire of the original life of the beast with fire attribute. As soon as the battle armor appears, the flame soars into the sky, and at the same time, the roar of 10,000 beasts comes out, which makes people feel frightened. For a while, everyone was in an uproar. Yichang Tian even challenged the 3 people of Longchen alone. How strong is his confidence? As soon as the battle armor appeared, Huolinger woke up in a flash, turned into a fire dragon, and quietly climbed out of the dragon dust's neck and stretched out her head to look at the man. Brother Longchen, his armor is a good thing. There are many runes in it that I don't have. I want to let me out and I'll kill him. Huolinger hears to the dragon dust that she takes a fancy to this armor. Longchen is speechless for a while. Huolinger even wants to fight. But looking at Guoran and Xia Chen's eager appearance, how can Longchen fight with them? At this time, Yu Qingxian looks at Longchen, and her face gradually shows a sweet smile. She finds that as long as there is Longchen, there is nothing she needs to worry about in the world. The last time she met Yan Hong was like this, and this time it was the same. With Longchen in her heart, she would feel at ease. As for the problems between the 2 countries, she no longer thought about it. She chose to trust Longchen wholeheartedly. In this way, she felt extremely relaxed and had a personal support, which was so good. Longchen, Xia Chen and Guoran look at each other and suddenly shout at the same time, which frightens everyone. When they understand the actions of the 3, all of them suddenly faint. Scissors, stone, cloth. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3708, Xiachen, You Are Mean. Gua ran a scream, summer morning out of stone, he and long dust out of scissors, summer morning directly won. It turns out that Xia Chen and Guoran had a good discussion. As a result, Guoran was played by Xia Chen, and Xia Chen won naturally. When Xia Chen wins, he immediately becomes energetic, and the whole person's fighting spirit is awe-inspiring. Although he is as thin as a scholar, once he enters the combat state, he is like a tiger coming out of the cage. His murderous spirit covers the whole world in an instant, and the breath of human beings completely changes. In summer morning, I fought with Yichang Tian today. Heroes from all over the world testify that today's war is not only divided into high and low, but also determined life and death. No one is allowed to intervene in the battle between us. Yichang Tian, if you are afraid of death, it's still time to get out now. Once you start, we will never die. You can think about it. Summer morning long clothes flutter, people stand on the void, coldly looking at Yichang. He has neither weapons nor armor, but standing on the void, but gives people endless master style, especially the other powerful self-confidence, which makes countless strong people moved. After all, Longchen still has some fame, but Guoran and Xia Chen are only a little famous in their own star regions, and they can't spread more widely. Therefore, people don't know them at all, let alone have heard of them. Xia Chen and Guoran, standing by Longchen's side, do not have a trace of master demeanor at all. It is easy to ignore their existence. However, when Xia Chen stood up for a moment, his powerful momentum made people tremble. It was only then that people understood that the man who looked harmless to human and animal life was actually a master who was really killed from the battlefield. In the face of Xia Chen's challenge, Yichang danced with flames all over his body and sneered, "A nobody but dares to challenge my prince? Let the 3 of you go together, but you will die one by one. Let's show you what real power is today." I will let you know that the imperial seal is not something you can provoke, and no one can interfere in the affairs of the imperial seal and the Rosefinch Empire. He Changshan's words are obviously for all people to listen to, which means that the present imperial seal is no longer the one it used to be. People's hearts are awe-inspiring. Is the imperial seal really strong enough to compete with the Rosefinch Empire? It is not as simple as it appears that the imperial seal provokes the Rosefinch Empire. Well, now that you have agreed, don't talk nonsense. All the Tianjiao people present, give face, and step back a little bit. Seal Mad Lion is a flame beast in ancient times. Its soul is square, and it is printed with the map of inheriting God. The place it passes by seems to have been printed by a jade seal. The footprints can burn for hundreds of years. However, although the seal lion is a flame beast, its own flame is not strong. They practice by swallowing other flames after tomorrow, so as to strengthen themselves. Therefore, the flame of the seal, ranked number 63 in the list of heavenly fire, is not strong. However, its phagocytic ability is very strong, and it has the ability to fuse 10,000 fire. However, in terms of phagocytic ability, it is far from the flame of burning deficiency and cannot be compared at all. No matter how strong the flame of the seal is, the flame in the top 10 of the Skyfire list cannot be swallowed up, and it is doomed to be unable to be among the top 10 in the list of heavenly fire for a lifetime. However, even so, the fire of the wild lion in the seal still makes people dare not underestimate. When He Changshan's vision appears, his armor glows and his endless runes light up. The roar comes from every scale, just like the roar of beasts, and the violent power erupts. Boom! He Changtian raised his spear, and the flame trembled between heaven and earth, just like 100 rivers converging into the sea. One shot broke through the heaven and earth and stabbed at the summer morning. With the roar of beasts, He Changtian went straight to Xiachen to stab. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3709 He Changshan's one shot is to strike with all his strength, without any reservation at all. The power of the fierce flame makes Jiutian change color. Even the most powerful can't help moving. It's very difficult to raise the power to this level in a moment. We should know that any strong person needs to be warmed up in order to fight, because the qi and blood in the body must run for several weeks before it can be done. If you don't warm up, you can't afford to have too much power in a moment, which will lead to injury. If you don't hurt the enemy, you should hurt yourself first. He Changtian stepped into the fighting state in an instant. His breath startled the sky and scared everyone. However, people quickly realized that He Changtian could do this because of his seal and armor, which helped him to offset a certain amount of power. Boom! The spear is like a dragon whistling away. The void, because of this gun, rolled up a huge cyclone. In the face of such a powerful blow, Xiachen did not break out of any momentum, and a golden seal script appeared between the right hand. Burn, in the summer morning, the golden seal script in the hand bursts into pieces, forming golden shenhui, which is like liquid, infecting the whole palm, and the palm is like gold casting. Boom! In the eyes of all the people, the golden palm of the summer morning clapped on the spear, a shocking explosion, and the earth shook together. Xia Chen's left hand pressed behind him instantly appeared a spider web of hundreds of millions of miles, covering the sky. Then people see summer morning on the left hand, endless fire into the cobweb, that spider web for an instant into the flame cobweb. He Changshan's flame power has been transferred. People were surprised. He Changshan's all-out strike unexpectedly was dissolved. Xiachen was not injured at all. The spider web behind him was burned by the flame, inch by inch broken, turned into the sky god. Fu Xiu, he is Fu Xiu. Some people exclaimed. At this time, someone saw Xia Chen's identity. When Xia Chen made a move just now, He Changshan's blow was easily blocked with a seal script in his left and right hands. A smile appeared in the corner of Long Chen's mouth. Fu Xiuzhen is really amazing. A small Fuzhuan has the ability to survey the sky and the earth. Up to now, he has not understood the real mystery. Boom! Just at this moment, He Changtian suddenly bullies Xia Chen and smashes his fist at Xia Chen's face. He is extremely quick in response and is actually a close combat expert. Boom! Xia Chen clasped his hands and held a seal script between his hands to block He Changshen's fist. When He Changshen's fist hit Xia Chen's palm, a shield appeared on his hands, which just blocked He Changshen's attack. He Changtian sneered, "It's just external force. I see how many Fuzhuan you have." Xia Chen received 2 blows from him, but 3 pieces of Fuzhuan were discarded. All of them were disposable and disappeared after use. Although they were powerful, they were consumables. As a Fushio, you don't have to worry about this. You'd better worry about yourself. Summer Morning sneers. Who, all of a sudden, his hands were open, his chest was crossed, and 8 pieces of Fuzhuan were sandwiched between his fingers, and he stopped drinking. 8 Ghosts Exorcism Order. Boom! With the sound of Summer Morning, the 8 pieces of Fuzhuan exploded, and a transparent life was drilled in each seal script. These creatures were like the heads of the same person, holding long tails and rushing with strange laughter. Congratulations to Changteng. When hearing the strange laughter, everyone felt a tingle in their scalp. The sound seemed to be the devil's deadly laughter, which was frightening. The most terrifying thing is that this voice directly invades the soul and is unable to defend at all. For a while, everyone's face changes. Psychic attack? Some people exclaim that the attack of spiritual power is the unique power of spiritual power practitioners. This kind of power is between the power of soul and the power of spirit, which is beyond defense. I dare to show you how to make a fool of yourself. Seeing 8 strange creatures approaching, He Changtian sneers and the seal lion roars in the vision behind him. A flame halo burst out of his vision, radiated, and instantly devoured the 8 strange creatures. When the ring of fire hit the strange creature, the creature burst into pieces, but the moment the creature burst into pieces, poof, He Changshen's blood gushed out. He Changshen's eyebrows cracked, and the blood overflowed, as if something had burst in his head, almost breaking his head. When that strange creature burst into pieces, countless people on the scene screamed, covered their heads and showed painful expressions. The art of ghosts? Blow up the soul? Some people exclaim that countless powerful people's faces have changed. It is said that only ghosts can be used to control a person's soul unconsciously. This situation is similar to the mortal ghost upper body. Even in the fairyland, ghosts are still elusive. People are full of unknown and fear about them. The reason why people can associate with the ghost road is that the 8 Ghosts Exorcism Order, just said by Xia Chen, and only the ghost road can have such a horrible and strange attack way. Not only to celebrate the long day, some of the weak soul of the strong feel headache to crack, as if the soul to rush out of the skull in general. Even Long Chen and others were startled. He had just studied this move, or he had already known it. He never showed him. You know how to play dirty tricks, you mean guy. Do you think you can hurt me with such a small trick? You dream. He Changtian raised his head to the sky and roared. The fury of the air rose to the sky, and the endless power of fire gushed out. The whole world instantly turned into a sea of fire. He Changtian opened up the field of fire. Some people exclaim that when the field is opened up, it is the real strength confrontation, which can't be tricked. In this field, He Changtian is the master. Boom! He Changshen's figure flickered, and a pair of flame wings emerged behind him. During the flutter of the wings, He Changtian appeared in front of the Summer Morning like a blink of an eye. But to everyone's surprise, He Changshen's quick and fierce shot actually stabbed an empty hole. At the same time, the strong men of the Imperial Seal exclaimed, and they were shocked to find that Xia Chen did not know when he was behind He Changtian. He Changshen's shot failed, but he felt it was not good. He suddenly took a step forward. The spear swung from the top of his head and made an arch in his waist. The spear crossed a mysterious arc from the front and ran straight behind him to stab it. The gun's tip had reached the front door of Xia Chen. Return to the gun, This is not a mysterious move, but the reaction speed, attack angle and accuracy can be controlled to such a degree, which proves that He Changshan's combat experience is extremely rich. Especially other moves, such as flowing clouds and flowing water, are extremely natural and unrestrained. He Changtian is really an expert. But to everyone's surprise, when the spear fell, Xia Chen's figure disappeared again, and this gun failed again and again. Suddenly disappeared in the summer morning, very suddenly appeared on the top of He Changshan's head, a kick to He Changshan's face. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37. 10 People can clearly see that Xia Chen put his hand on the sole of his shoe and pasted a piece of seal script before he kicked out the foot. As soon as the Fuzhuan was pasted, Xia Chen's foot kicked him in the chest of He Changtian, so fast that he could not escape. He Changtian just used the rifle, and then he showed the posture of leaning up. This posture was not effective, and Xia Chen kicked him firmly on his chest. Boom! A startling explosion. Xiaoqin's feet are like volcanic eruption, the rune is instantly broken, and Xia Chen is shocked to fly high. He Changshan's chest collapsed and hit the earth like a meteor. There was a huge ripple between the heaven and the earth. Above the ripple, He Changtian flew upside down in the summer morning. Under the ripple, He Changtian plummeted. When He Chang's world fell, the onlookers' faces changed slightly, and some people stepped back quickly. Boom! He Chang'un was like a flame meteor, which hit the ground hard, and the endless flame burst out and spread in all directions, just like a flame star, which was smashed into pieces. The earth vibrated, but it didn't appear a big pit as people imagined. It was just a depression of hundreds of miles, and the flames were raging. Fortunately, the people around saw the opportunity and fled. Otherwise, they would be affected by the terrible flame. This is the capital of Purple Sky. The earth here is protected by special laws. The ground is so hard that even some broken buildings are hard to be destroyed. Poof! He Changtian ejected 3 mouthfuls of blood in succession. He stood up from the pit. The sunken place on his chest slowly swelled up and restored his original appearance. The seal armor is worthy of its reputation. Such a terrifying force can't destroy it. People can't help but sigh when they look at the restored armor and the breath of He Changtian. Although they don't know how strong the attack was in summer morning, from the harsh sonic boom and the ripples in the void, we can judge the terrorist power of the attack. You know, He Changtian was unprepared at that time. He was really kicked by this foot. If he didn't have this armor, he would have died. When people sigh at the strong man of the seal, they can't help but feel awe-stricken. Most people here have only heard of Fu Xiu, but they haven't seen Fu Xiu. The Fu seal script of Xia Chen is so terrible. Now they understand why Xia Chen seems harmless to human beings and animals, but it brings them great pressure. Xia Chen's terror does not lie in himself, but in the seal script in his hand. You damned bastard, you irritated me, an idiot who can only rely on external force to make a fool of himself, dare to show off his power? He Changtian looks up to the sky and roars. The golden crown of his head had fallen off, and his long hair was scattered. The blood he had just spurted out was condensed into a mist in the void. With his roar, the mist like blood was ignited like gunpowder, and the void of tens of thousands of miles around was instantly ignited, and a vast and supreme breath swept the sky. He burned his pride? Some people exclaimed that He Changtian had just sprayed blood essence. He had burned his own blood essence. You should know that the supreme blood is extremely precious and can't be lost easily. Especially at this time, He Changtian should keep enough blood essence to attack the fairyland. Bang! The void under He Changshan's feet exploded, and the seal and armor on his body glowed. Originally, there was a rune on each scale. Now these runes have evolved into an ancient beast. They seem to be alive and contribute all their strength. The breath of He Changtian has soared several times in an instant. He Changtian, at the cost of burning blood essence, drives the seal armor. This battle armor finally erupts a terrible power. At this time, He Changtian, like the god of fire, steps into the void to kill Xia Chen again. People can see that the whole world has become the field of Hichangtian. The endless flow of flame blocks the retreat of Xiachen and pushes Xiachen to Hichangtian. External force? It's a big joke. As long as it's the power I control, it's my power. Most of your firepower comes from the way of heaven, isn't it an external force? If you want to fight, you can't have so much nonsense. Xia Chen sneers, facing the burning blood of self-esteem Hichangtian. He is happy and fearless, and his fighting spirit rises. At this time in the summer morning, the war spirit was surging. It seemed that he was back in Tianwu land. When he was following the dragon dust in all directions, the stronger he was, the more excited he was. In my supreme realm, I see how I want to transmit it to me to die. He Changshan's roar came to kill him. The spear was waving, and the gun shadow spread all over the sky and stabbed at the summer morning. He Changshan's control of the field of fire is not pure enough. Before the summer morning continuous transmission, he had no choice. But now, he has burned the supreme blood, and this field will have an induction with the supreme blood in his body. If Xiachen transmits again, he will have traces to follow, and even can predict his landing point, so as to break Xia Chen's transmission body method and force him to fight with himself. Your field is far worse than Liao Benkang's belief field. I want to transmit, can you stop me? In addition, do you think that we Fu Xiu really dare not confront others? You can see the real strength of Fu today's summer morning sneers. Xia Chen's mention of Liao Benzong shocked many powerful people present. However, almost everyone knows the name of Liao Benzong, the leader of Juyou Hall. This Xia Chen actually had a fight with Liao Benzong. Dragon Blood Battle Body, now. Xia Chen raised his head to the sky and roared. With his roar, a sacred sound of dragon chanting resounded from heaven and earth. Xia Chen's body was covered with a layer of golden dragon scales. The sacred dragon power swept over the sky and made the world tremble. Boss, when is summer morning? Guo Ran was startled. How can I choose one from the other? Xia Chen's dragon blood forging technique has never been left behind. I give him the real dragon blood essence, and he will merge quietly. Do you think that everyone is like you, making such a big noise? Longshan has no good breath. Although Xia Chen is practicing Fuwen, he has been practicing the skill of Fuwen, but he has been practicing the skill of forging body with dragon blood all the time, and he integrates the essence blood into the rune, and then penetrates into the body. This is a very simple, quick, and painless method. Xia Chen naturally won't tell Guo Ran that there is such a method, so that Guo Ran's heart is not balanced, so Xia Chen integrates the essence of the real dragon, and Guo Ran doesn't know. Summer morning summoned the dragon blood battle body, put on the gold scale armor, the golden light flickered, the qi and blood soared to the sky, as if suddenly changed a person, the powerful force of qi and blood, so that countless people feel frightened. This still Fu Xiu? People were shocked. How could Fu Xiu have such terrible qi and blood? It's just subverting their perception. Boom! In the eyes of people's astonishment, Xia Chen, in the face of He Changshan's powerful and invincible attack, even directly smashed it. What? www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:11 Xia Chen's fists and He Changshan's spear collide fiercely. A huge arc of light erupts above the tip of the gun and his fist, as if two semicircles collided together. Boom! The loud noise startled the sky, and the endless vigorous wind was surging. With one punch and one shot, the two men were so deadlocked in the void and refused to budge. Boom! The two men's armor glowed and broke out with all their strength, and both wanted to suppress each other. However, one blow and one shot kept shaking in the void, and the thunder-like sound broke out. But who could do nothing about it? Wow, I didn't expect my little brother to be so strong this summer morning. Yin Ting looks at Xia Chen's powerful and boundless. She even takes the spear with her bare hands. She shows her master's demeanor, and her eyes are full of surprise. Those strong people of the Rosefinch Empire were all excited and clenched their fists, as if they could help Xia Chen with their strength in this way. Boss, can't you see that Xia Chen is so strong? Guo Ran is stupid. This is too terrible. He has the supreme arm to dare to pick up the magic soldiers with his bare hands. Xia Chen has nothing, but he dares to do so? Xia Chen is very strong, but last time in Jiuyou Island he was restrained by Liao Benkang's belief field, and his tactics were useless. And this guy is too clever. If you look carefully, every dragon scale on his body is pasted with a small seal character. 108,000 scales. That is 1,008,000 pieces of Fuzhuan. How strong is he when he uses so many Fuzhuan forces at once? Dragon Dust Road. After Longchen said this, Guoran noticed that there was a small seal character on the dragon scales in Summer Morning, but it was too small to be seen. I said, this guy's dragon blood fighting body is almost catching up with the boss. It turns out that there are so many Fuzhuan blessings. Guoran suddenly realized that, in this way, he did not feel so surprised, but took it for granted. The seal character of Xiachen is very terrible. The power of one seal script is amazing, and the power of so many Fuzhuan put together can be justified. Boom! Suddenly, the arc of light in front of the two people broke, and they both fell back at the same time. In terms of strength, they even fought for the same level. It's just Fuzhuan. Do you think that you can live by these external forces? Yichang Tian sneers, treads on the void, and kills Xiachen again. Fuzhuan? You are so stupid. If you didn't wear the Imperial Seal armor or the seal script on the seal armor, you would have been a corpse. Would you dare to speak out? Xiachen sneers. Yichang Tian ridicules him for using external forces, but forgets that most of his combat power is improved by this armor. Yichang Tian was furious, but he couldn't find any language to refute. His irony was that he hit himself in the face. Boom boom. Yichang Tian is furious and shakes his spear. He wants to vent all his anger. Xiachen wore dragon blood armor, raised his hands and feet, and faintly heard the sound of dragon howling. He waved his fists without retreating. He fought hard with Yichang Tian. For a time, the flying sand and rocks rolled, and the flames engulfed the sky, which moved the spectators. Such a war is really rare. What's the situation? Fu Xiu is actually fighting with people? Brother, Fu Xiu, why has the master never told me? Cried one of the crowd. The most important thing is to fight with a strong man with supreme blood. Is this challenging our cognition? Someone followed. It's common sense that practitioners of Fu, spirit, soul, and Dharma are weak in body. However, Xiachen subverted the whole common sense. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, they couldn't believe it. Boom boom. Xiachen and Yichang Tian fight fiercely, waving fists and flying spears. Both of them are brave and invincible. They fight hard and kill fiercely. Looking at Xiachen's attack, Longchen can't help but smile, because many of Xiachen's attack methods and actions are very similar to him. At first glance, he imitates his close combat style. However, Xiachen's strength actually comes from the seal script on the scale armor, and the power of dragon blood is only the carrier of his running the power of the seal script. After all, he is not a real close combat expert. In the process of power transformation, there will be some sounds in his movements, which is inevitable. But even so, it is more wrong to deal with Yichang Tian. After all, Longchen has never lost anyone in his life in the aspect of close combat. It is enough for Xiachen to learn a part of it. However, the rune on Xiachen's body began to flash violently. Guoran also noticed this problem. Boss, it seems like this will not last long for Xiachen? Longchen nodded his head and said, the seal characters of Xiachen will still be affected in He Changshen's field. His Fuzhuan, if it is in peacetime, should be able to absorb the power of heaven and earth, and provide him with continuous energy. So many Fuzhuan are together, almost equivalent to a clan's protecting clan array. However, after only a few incense sticks, the runes begin to flash, which means that the Fuzhuan begins to appear early warning, and the strength it absorbs is not enough to support such a rapid consumption. But don't worry. Xiachen is just using He Changshen's strength to test his own ability of breaking out and endurance of the seal script. His real unique skill has not yet broken out. Let's see, the mouse drags the wooden lift, and the big head is behind. Boom, Boom, the sound of roaring in the sky continued. Sure enough, the strong summer morning began to show signs of unstoppable. Tian forced him to retreat slowly. Although there was no failure, there were signs of being suppressed. As I said, relying on external forces is just a trick. It's powerless and useless after all. The only thing waiting for you is death. I saw that the strength of summer morning began to decline, and he roared. His whole body qi and blood flow rapidly, and his breath soared again. My God, Tian has not used all his strength. He is waiting for this opportunity. Someone exclaimed. He wants to divide life and death between several moves and never give Longqin a chance to rescue him. People can also see that Tian is determined to kill Xiachen and has been waiting for an opportunity. Now he is going to burst out with all his strength, which is to hurt the killer. For a while, people looked at Longqin one after another, trying to see what reaction Longqin had. But to their surprise, Longqin did not react at all, and looked at it calmly. The seal revives, the beasts come out of the cage, the mad lion wakes up and breathes 9 days. Changshan's spear is horizontal, and one hand is bound. His whole bodice qi and blood burst out. The whole person begins to burn wildly. On his armor, countless divine lights burst out, and each of them is wrapped with a flame beast. As soon as tens of thousands of beasts came out, the whole world was sealed off in an instant. These beasts sealed in the seal armor suddenly came back to life in a flash. Their eyes were fierce and their killing intention locked on Xiachen. And in the vision behind Tian, the seal mad lion actually pokes out half of its head from the vision. Roar! With the roar of the wild lion that day, tens of thousands of beasts opened their mouths at the same time, and countless flame lights, like angry arrows, shot away at the summer morning. Die! Burn the sky! With Changshan's roar, thousands of arrows fly together, and the void is pierced. In the instant of summer morning, he falls into the field of death and goes to heaven and earth. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:12. All of us were startled by the unexpected accident. Tian had always kept his feelings, waiting for an opportunity to kill with one blow. Boom! Tens of thousands of flames roared from all directions, burst the void, and hit the body of Xiachen with a startling noise, and the summer morning was submerged by flames. People were shocked. Summer morning did not have the chance to escape this blow, enough to blow him to pieces. Yes, in the flames, summer morning's figure disappeared, and the strong men of the imperial seal cheered. Dead. The people who watched the war looked shocked. Although the attack was extremely terrifying, they always felt that it was a little strange. What was the specific strangeness? Some could not tell. It's a talisman. Watch your back. It was reminded in a loud voice that with the fall of the voice, people looked behind Tian and saw Xiachen's figure turn from virtual to real, and slapped behind Tian soundlessly with a palm. In his hand, there was a striking talisman. Reminded, Tian hurried back. It was too late to resist with a long gun. Xiachen's palm went straight to his face, and he instinctively stretched out his left hand to resist. Boom! With a bang, Changshan's left arm burst into pieces. In summer morning, his skull was broken and his head was almost shattered. Seeing that Xiachen was almost successful, he was destroyed by others. Guoran was so angry that he swore, "Which son of a bitch talks a lot and says one-on-one fair fight? You are cheating." Guoran this scold, the public hastily looked to the direction of the voice. One eye saw a purple-robed old man above the void in the distance. God reveres the strong, people's heart is awe-inspiring. The king of Jinan of the imperial seal, he has come. Someone recognized the identity of the old man in purple robe. It was obvious that this was a famous existence. Tian escaped from death, frightened and angry. He almost died just now. Xiachen's move was too fierce. It happened that all the strength of his seal armor was scattered outside and did not recover. If the defense was weakest, he would die without the warning of that person. The return of War Soul, Tian did not dare to neglect. With a roar, the flame runes scattered between heaven and earth trembled. He flew straight to Hichang Tian to return to battle armor. Want to take it back? Dream summer morning a sneer. Suddenly both hands of the seal, hundreds of Fu Zhuan, emerge from his back. Tianshui prison thing. With the summer morning a break drink, that hundreds of Zhang Fu Zhuan burst open, one by 1,000s of miles of water dragon roared. Each water dragon with a photographic pressure, like lightning, rushed to Hichang Tian. Water vapor flowed all over the sky, forming a stage of water system boundary, isolating those flame runes from Hichang Tian. The hundreds of water dragons in the border area rotate rapidly in both positive and negative directions, compressing the space crazily and roaring between the heaven and the earth. Countless cracks have appeared in the space within the water sphere. Even the law of heaven has been torn by the terrible water system. Hichangtan was surprised and angry. When the water dragon opened the border and separated him from the fire rune of the outside world, the flame rune hit the water boundary and was directly bounced away. The fog filled the sky and could not rush in. Those fire runes can't return to the armor, and the power of the armor will be greatly reduced. Most importantly, if the power of these runes is exhausted, the seal armor will be useless. Hichang Tian roared angrily and his arm was broken. He directly condensed a new arm with the flame rune. He held the spear in both hands and collided with the water dragon. Boom! With a bang, he was thrown away directly by the border. At the moment of opening, he was shocked to find that his flame power had been evaporated. At this time, he found that the power of water summoned by summer morning was not ordinary water, and had great restraint on his flame. Roar! At this time, something more difficult for him to accept happened. He did not know what Xiachen did. A long flame dragon appeared and began to devour those fire runes outside the boundary. Pa 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 pa. Every time that flame dragon devours a flame rune, Hichangshan's armor will have a scale broken, but in the blink of an eye, dozens of scales on his armor have been broken. The fire dragon was not summoned by summer morning at all, but Hulinger came out to look for food by himself. It didn't want the power of these runes to be wasted, so it simply came out and robbed it. Looking for death, suddenly, a cold drink came, and the old man in purple robe in the distance could not help but rushed into the battlefield, opened his big hands and patted down Hulinger. Because Hulinger swallows down again, the seal battle armor will be scrapped, and he has to make a move. The purple-robed old man made a move. For a moment, everyone was in a state of uproar. Did the emperor really want to turn back? What was said before was a one-to-one death fight, but he reminded him that it could not be said. Now, if you take a direct shot, will you not be afraid to be ridiculed by the people in the world? Are you talking about? At the moment when the purple-robed old man appeared, a voice full of dignity came, followed by a figure. He neither wore a crown nor a royal robe, but when he appeared, the aura of the emperor had swept over the sky, and his noble and graceful temperament made him subject to eternal obedience. Xia Guhong appeared and stood in front of the old man in the purple robe. Seeing that someone was in the way, he did not want to clap it. Poof! Xia Guhong pointed out and saw a wind blow out. The palm of the old man in purple robe was pierced by the wind, and the wind was still strong. Then he passed through his shoulder and brought out a bloody rain, which fell on the heaven and earth. As soon as the blood rain fell, we could see that the blood rain was in the void, forming Taoist runes, infecting in the void and slowly disappearing. The blood of the most powerful was actually absorbed by the way of heaven. What? Countless people were horrified and looked at the name of Xia Guhong, a dignified and regal powerful man with imperial aura. No one in the older generation knew about Xia Guhong, but not much about the younger generation. Even if some people know it, no one has ever seen Xia Guhong. They don't know him at all. Among those who don't know Xia Guhong, one of them is the old man in purple. The old man in purple was hurt by a finger wind, shocked and angry, and yelled in a sharp voice, "Who are you? You don't even know Xia Guhong, who is famous all over the world. You're really a poor character. You can't understand knowledge, but you can't do without common sense. Can you create a second person with such noble atmosphere? When Xia Guhong fought in the fairyland, your grandfather had not yet been born. Young people should know how to be in awe." Then a voice of irony came. What we didn't expect was that the person who ridiculed the old man in purple was no one else, but Imputa, the master of the palace. When Imputa reported Xia Guhong's name, countless people were in uproar, and they saw the legendary characters. Uncle 7, help me. When people were shocked by Xia Guhong, He Chang Tian heard the sound of panic. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:13. Xia Guhong's appearance attracted all people's attention, but He Chang Tian was ignored. When He Changshan's scream came, people noticed that He Changshan's seal and armor had lost its original luster, and the scales on the armor had been broken, full of holes and tattered. The flame rune in the void has been completely devoured by the fire spirit, and has already run back to the chaotic space to digest. At this time, He Chang Tian was trapped in the water boundary. The water dragon in the border frantically stirred the space, compressed the power of his fire, and lost the seal armor. He had to burn the supreme blood to resist. However, the material used in Xiaoqin's Fujuan is Jiutian Xianshui, which is extremely expensive. It has an amazing restraining effect on the flame. Although it can't do anything to the top 10 flames in Tianhua list, Xiaoqin used hundreds of Fujuan to restrain He Chang Tian. The water dragon roars and the water cell compresses. He Chang Tian tries his best to support him. The flame flows around his body, but the space is deformed. Originally, He Chang Tian can stretch 100 li of space, but now his space has been compressed to less than 10 zhang. The smaller his space is, the harder it will be to resist, and the more terrifying the pressure will be. At this time, there is a terrible crack in his whole body space, and almost everyone will be crushed. Although his voice came out, it seemed to come from a very remote world, and his voice was very dull. The old man in purple changed his face. He didn't expect that this summer morning would be so strong, so soon He Chang Tian would come to the point of life and death. Xia Guhong, you are an elder. I have offended many times before. Please forgive me. But I have no grievance and hatred with you. Why should you bully the small and be aggressive? I also hope that you can give me a face. He Hongzhang, the southern king of the imperial town of the imperial seal, will surely remember his kindness. He Hongzhang, an old man in purple, was in a hurry at this time. He moved out of the imperial seal and showed his identity. However, this person seems to be arrogant, or his EQ is very low. He is obviously seeking Xia Guhong, but his tone is rather stiff, with a faint threat. There's no need for human relations. I'm here to support the scenes for my brother. I'm not interested in some worldly sophistication. Xia Guhong shook his head. Your brother? He Hongzhang's heart beat wildly. The three of us are covered by Big Brother Xia. How can we drop it? Not satisfied? Gua ran a face-arrogant tunnel. Here is covered by Xia Guhong. He feels that buyer has face. What do you mean, sir? Are you going to have a hard time with my imperial seal? He Hongzhang was frightened and angry, and his face suddenly became gloomy. Xia Guhong frowned. He Hongzhang was an idiot. At this time, he threatened people with the imperial seal. Do you want to be shameless? It has been said before, one-on-one decisive battle, life and death each safety destiny. Now, if you lose, you start to repent and play tricks. With so many heroes watching, do you really want to eat back the excrement that you pulled out? Long Chen sneers and answers directly instead of Xia Guhong. Nonsense, young people are fickle, how can they be serious? Naturally you can't count. He Hongzhang said angrily, and then he looked at Yu Qingxian. Princess Qingxian, you are the princess of the Zhuke Empire. Are you trying to stir up disputes between the two countries and to make the strong of the two countries bloody? Yu Qingxian is in a quandary. Just about to speak, Long Chen points to He Hongzhang and says, You old bastard, play with me, right? Then I'll play with you. I will tell you that if I want to kill He Chang Tian, I just want to kill him. It has nothing to do with the Rosefinch Empire. Dare to threaten me? I really admire your courage. I will put my words here today. I say he died today. No one in the world can save him. Long Chen was angry. He Chang Tian was not angry even though he hated him. However, He Hongzhang threatened Yu Qingxian, and Long Chen rushed up. If he hadn't promised to give He Changtian to Xia Chen, he would have killed him now. Seeing Long Chen's anger rising, Yu Qingquan's eyes are filled with warmth and emotion. The feeling of being protected by dragon dust is very wonderful. You will pay the price for your ignorance, young man. He Hongshang's face is distorted and his eyes are full of killing intention. The price? You know what the price is? Summer morning, let him know what the price is. Dragon dust drinks away. Hello, Xia Chen laughs, and suddenly there is a ruined yuan in his hand, which is sandwiched between his two fingers and shakes it smartly. Pooh, the seal character disappeared in an instant. At the same time, He Changtian, in the boundary of the river system, uttered a scream. One of his thighs was cut off by a strange force. Hearing He Changtian's scream, people's scalp felt numb. Xia Chen's move was too strange. The rune had no trace. People didn't see how the seal script flew out or how it cut off He Changtian's thigh. They didn't see anything, but He Changtian has been severely damaged. This strange method is frightening. The most terrifying thing in the world is the invisible attacks. Little beast. Seeing Xia Chen's hand, He Hongzhang roared and his whole body breathed. Poof, in summer morning, another piece of Fujuan was thrown out. This time, people saw a streamer rushing into the water system boundary, but after entering the water system boundary, the seal character disappeared, and then He Changtian's other leg was cut off by something sharp. At that moment, the whole world was covered with a layer of haze. The roaring of thousands of roads was suddenly silent, and the world was covered with a layer of frightful atmosphere. Is it time for the strong to fight? Some people screamed in horror and said, if the gods are strong enough to fight, this world will be sunk. Once the war breaks out, I'm afraid it will be too late for them to escape now. If you dare to do it, then I promise, this is the last time in your life. Xia Guhong stood with his hands on his back, calmly looking at He Hongzhang, who showed his weapons. His tone was calm, but with unquestionable domineering power. Xia Guhong, after so many years' absence, you are still as proud as you were then. However, I can't imagine why you are so confident when the dragon finch disappears. At this time, the sky and the earth flashed with thunder and lightning, and endless dark clouds came. Among the endless black clouds, a strong man wrapped in thunder and lightning appeared. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:14. As soon as the man appeared, the heaven and earth changed color, the 9 days trembled, the endless thunder roared, as if the disaster had come. Once that man appeared, everyone seemed to be pressed by a huge rock, and it became difficult to breathe. Even those who are strong in the state of God's reverence are also shocked. However, the power of this person is so terrible that it seems that a single thought can destroy the world. And the present Tianjiao people are even more scared to shiver, such a terrible figure. They still, please save the elder to save Changtian. At this time, Yu Qingxian whispered in Long Chen's ear. It seems that the imperial seal's targeting at the Zhuge Empire is entirely due to the support of the Purple Ting Empire. Yu Qingxian has just arrived at the Zhuge Empire. She doesn't know a lot about the Zhuge Empire, but she can also understand the current situation. The Zhuge Empire and the Purple Ting Empire have always been enemies in history, and their relationship has never been better. Now, seeing He Hongshang's expression, everything is very obvious. The reason why the Imperial Seal Empire dares to target the Zhuge Empire is inspired by the Purple Ting Empire. Frankly speaking, the Imperial Seal is a group of stupid dogs. When they were afraid of the Rosefinch Empire, they would beg for mercy and be obedient. Now his wings are hard, and there is someone behind him to eat meat, and then he starts to bite the Rosefinch Empire. Long Chen Dao, he has seen a lot of such things. As Long Chen whispered with Yu Qingxian, Wang Taibei said, Xia Guhong, there will be a war between you and me sooner or later. But now is not the time to start. You are also a person of status. Don't interfere in the affairs of the younger generation. You've got eyes on your butt? Which I saw my big brother meddle in the affairs of the younger generation. It's clearly that the people of the Imperial Seal Empire can't afford to lose. If I beat the younger one, my elder brother is the shameless old man. Does that mean that he has to intervene in the affairs of the younger generation? Without waiting for the dragon dust to open his mouth, Guoran has already pointed at Wengtai North to curse. He knew that, anyway, Xia Guhong was holding on. There was nothing to be afraid of. If he did not perform at this time, it would not be him. Guoran pointed to Wengtabius' nose and scolded him, which shocked everyone. The boy was too brave. Didn't he know that Wengtai Bei killed him in a rage, just like crushing an ant? However, Guoran doesn't care. Today he doesn't have a chance to make a move. He always has to find a chance to show his performance. Besides, it also saves Xia Guhong from talking to that man. Boy, you are looking for death. Wengtai North did not open his mouth. There was a voice behind him. People found that there were more than a dozen people standing behind him. But these people were all wrapped up in lightning, just like human lightning, standing in the thunder sea behind Wengtai North. They did not speak, and no one noticed their existence. These 10 people are all Lei Xiu, and their breath is amazing. What's shocking is that 4 of these 10 people even exude the supreme breath, and they are the most powerful. Even those strong people who do not have the supreme breath, each breath is as concise as a mountain, all of them are masters among the masters. The genius among the talents, the pressure on people is only a little less than those several supreme level talents. The first one, with long hair and a long sword on his back, had a faint halo of thunder behind his head. At the peak of the divine king's realm, he had already condensed the crown of heaven's way. His breath was very amazing. This man has purple hair. If you look closely at his purple hair, there are tiny textures on it. There are light arcs on it. Another body of thunder, as like as 2 peas, the strong man exclaimed, and this man had the same constitution as Wengtai Bei. Isn't there another Wengtai North coming out? People were shocked. If this man also grew up and became a strong god, then the Purple Thunder Empire would really climb to the top of the empire and look down on other empires. You just want to die. But want to fight? Come on, give me your name. I will not kill nobody. Guoran pointed to the purple-haired man with a disdainful face. In fact, Guoran was the purple-haired man staring at one eye, immediately felt scalp numb. He realized that this is a terrible opponent. But at this time so many people look at it, certainly cannot shrink back, still a look of arrogance. Since you want to die, I Weng Tamao will make you. Seeing Guoran's challenge, Weng Tingao, the purple-haired man, stepped out of the purple thunder sea behind Wengtai North. Ah! Just then, a shrill cry came. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:15 The area of water system in summer morning has been reduced to only 10 zhang, but at this time the power of water system field in summer morning is also rapidly weakening. Similarly, He Chang Tian in the field has run out of oil and the lamp is withered. His body begins to crumble, and the supreme blood has been evaporated. With his scream, his body bursts into pieces. Qing'an, He Hongzhang was about to crack and his face was distorted in an instant. Xiachen actually killed He Chang Tian. All of a sudden, He Changshan's long flame gun broke through the air and rushed to He Hongzhang's direction. Boom! Suddenly, a fiery red sword suddenly fell into the air and hit the flame spear. No! What is astonishing is that He Changshan's grudging roar came from the flame spear. Bang! With a bang, the moment the sword is cut on the spear, a transparent ripple appears, and then you can see He Changshan's original spirit burst to pieces. It turns out that He Chang Tian knows that he can't keep his body. He attaches the Yuan God to the spear in an attempt to escape and retain the Yuan God. Even Xiachen was concealed because He Changshan's soul fluctuation was covered up by the flame fluctuation of his spear. Unfortunately, He Chang Tian failed to escape Hualinger's perception, and the dragon dust killed his original spirit with a sword. The real fire sword flies back to Long Chen's hand. Long Chen takes a sword flower and takes it back into the chaotic space. He looks calm and says in a light way, "It's said that both victory and death are decided. You don't count, but my third dragon master can't do it." He Chang Tian died, and one of the most powerful people was killed. Before the world of 3000 was opened, he was cut off. For a time, everyone felt awe-inspiring. Supreme level Tianjiao, a clan may not be able to give birth to one for tens of thousands of years. It is so shocking to be killed. Dragon dust. He Hongzhang was so angry that his hair was standing upside down and his eyes were red with blood. He looked like a lion who was going to eat people, and his intention of killing was soaring to the sky. It's good to know that I'm dragon dust. I killed He Chang Tian just to tell everyone that I'm dragon dust, but I'm never afraid of anything. I will not bully anyone, but I will never allow anyone to bully me. If anyone wants to take my life, I will regard him as the enemy. For the enemy, I have only one rule: kill Longshan Cold Tunnel. As soon as the last word kill was uttered, I don't know why, everyone's hearts trembled. The word kill spoke from the mouth of Longchen. Although the tone was calm, it seemed that people were facing bloody battlefield of killing. Good Longchen, right? Lingshao Academy? A declining academy? Dare to be arrogant. If you kill one member of the He family, I will kill you. Lingshao Academy is full of people. You can't walk out of the 3000 worlds alive. You will be pursued and killed by Tianjiao of the Imperial Seal Empire. And your Lingshao Academy will be destroyed by our Imperial Seal. Your master, you are senior brother and sister, and all your relatives will be killed by us. He Hongzhang clenched his teeth and roared. Ha ha ha. He Hongzhang had just finished his roar when someone burst into laughter, as if he had heard the biggest joke in the world. Looking for death. He Hongzhang was furious. He was about to tear up the people who laughed at him. Suddenly, he found that the one who mocked him was actually Empuda, the master of the temple. For a moment he was shocked and angry. He couldn't figure out why Empuda wanted to target him. Although the Imperial Seal was powerful, he did not dare to offend Empuda. You know, the believers of the blood-killing hall are all over 9 days and 10 places. Every one is an assassin. If anyone offends him, no matter how powerful the empire is, sooner or later they will be killed by their assassins. The most important thing is that Empuda himself is also a master. Although he is only the peak state of the king of the world, once he uses the power of faith, even if the god has a strong situation to meet him, he will also retreat. Lord Empuda, I have no enmity with you. What do you mean? He Hongzhang angrily said that although he was angry, he did not dare to say anything too much. On the contrary, there is an explanation for the word looking for death. As long as he is not a fool, everyone can hear that He Hongzhang is afraid of Empuda. Empuda gave a smile and waved his hand. I smile. It has nothing to do with personal resentment. I just feel funny and I can't help laughing. Destroy Lingshao Academy? He. This is the biggest joke I have ever heard in my life. Do you know the real cultivation of Bai Ledian, president of Lingshao Academy? Do you know who is the master of the War God Hall of Lingshao Academy? Do you know the origin of Lingshao Academy's archaic sacred weapon Lingshao sword? Do you know that Lingshao Academy still has a character who can activate the stone level, who survived the Taigu period? Empuda's words echoed between heaven and earth, and a touch of shock appeared on countless faces. Obviously, they did not know the details of Lingshao Academy. But Longchen looked at Empuda, and his eyes narrowed unconsciously. Longchen didn't believe that this cunning fat man would stand up to speak for him. Empuda continued, Lingshao Academy is 9 days and 10 places. After listening to Empuda's words, countless people looked at Longchen in horror. They knew that Longchen had such a terrible record and such a magnificent background. Guoran and Xiachen were stunned. Empuda even praised them. Did the sun come out from the west? However, they soon found that among the crowd, there were countless people with eyes burning at them. These people, without exception, were the most powerful. They'll go, this fat man, it's enough. This is to make us the target of everyone's challenge. Guoran suddenly understood. The most powerful are arrogant. The stronger the opponent is, the more they can't let go. Especially those famous ones will become their target. Empuda held the dragon dust to heaven at once. In this way, I am afraid that they will be watched by countless people. If they enter the 3000 world, they will have nothing to do, and all kinds of challenges will not be able to cope with. What is the youngest dean of bullshit in history? I've played all over the world. How can you compare with Xiantian? You are just a frog at the bottom of a well. Longchen, I will launch a life and death battle with you now. Heroes from all over the world will witness it together. Do you dare to agree? Wang Tinglao was the first one to stand out. The thunder sword pointed at the dragon dust and cheered coldly. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:16. Wang Tinglao stood up and pointed his sword at the dragon dust. On his long sword, the endless thunder light arc was flashing and dazzling. This was a magic weapon of thunder. When the sword came out, the thunder rolled over the 9 days, and heaven and earth changed color. Crazy Blade? Isn't that Wang Tabia's exclusive weapon? It's in his hands. What's the relationship between them? Someone exclaimed. When Wang Taibei was young, he got the magic weapon in the ancient secret place. He fought with him in the world and established an endless reputation. It was also a weapon that made countless powerful people feel frightened. This is a very famous realm artifact. Among the realm artifact, the magic weapon of Lei system is very rare, so this magic weapon is very famous. It's said that Wang Taibei ran across the country with this crazy blade. Although he was defeated by Xia Guhong twice, he finally escaped with this magic weapon. It can be said that this magic weapon is the lifeblood of Wang Taibei. Now that this magic weapon has appeared in Wang Tianyao's hands, it can be seen that the relationship between the two is absolutely different. Although both of them are surnamed Wang, the same surname is nothing in the clan relationship of Fairyland. Even the relationship between father and son may not be intimate. After all, a strong man in the Fairyland has a long life and can reproduce too many children. Therefore, in the Fairyland, the relationship between master and apprentice is more important than that between father and son. Wang Taibei can pass on his magic weapon to Wang Tinglao. I'm afraid that is to regard Wang Tinglao as his successor. Wang Tianyao's long sword came out of the sheath, and the whole body was surrounded by thunder. The momentum was startling, and the terrible pressure was diffused. The battle intention had already locked in the dragon dust. A smile appeared in the corner of Long Chen's mouth. Lao Tzu knew that the fat man didn't hold back any good farts. He held him high and became the target of everyone. As the saying goes, literature has no first place, and martial arts have no second place. However, no one is willing to be inferior to others, especially in the same level. Therefore, we don't know how many Tianjiao people die in vain. The routine is very simple and the intention is obvious, but it is very effective. Countless supreme-level Tianjiao people are staring at Long Chen and are eager to try it. It can be said that the purpose of Imputa has been achieved. In the face of so many arrogant and provocative eyes, Long Chen's pride in his heart was suddenly aroused and coldly looked at Wang Tinglao. I have a fancy to your weapon, and I will take it away by your body. Long Chen's response inspired countless strong men. This response of Long Chen is extremely domineering. The two masters are going to fight. Haha, you're so arrogant. If you dare to make such a big talk, why do you still stand there like a turtle with a shrinking head but dare not come out? Wang Tinglao sneered. I don't want to waste my strength because if I beat you, the old man of your family will do it. In this way, my elder brother Guhong will do the same. I don't want elder brother Guhong to interfere in my affairs. I think it's best for them to solve their grievances by themselves. Long Chen shook his head. You mean you can beat me? Wang Tinglao has a sarcastic look on his face. It's certain to win you, but it's difficult to kill you. After all, there are many of you and few of us. We will suffer some losses in the fight. What's more, the insidious fat man and Liao Bensong with a donkey's face are not good things either. Once they have a scuffle, they will definitely attack me. So, don't show your lower limit of intelligence quotient there, just like biting women on the street. If you want to challenge me, I'll wait for you in 3000 worlds. Long Chen said coldly. After that, he turned his head and looked at the others. I know that you have been accepted by the fat man. You want to step on my body to achieve your prestige. But it doesn't matter. Cultivating the road is a way of not returning. I don't mind being challenged by others. The road of the strong is not tolerated, let alone sought or reasoned out. Anyone can use any reason and any excuse to kill me. Similarly, I don't need any reason and any excuse to kill you. Just like He Chang Tian just now, before going out to war, he was arrogant and domineering. After defeat, he begged for mercy. This is meaningless. Everyone is an adult and should be responsible for his words and deeds. So, you can challenge me as much as you like, but when you are defeated by me, remember, don't kneel down and beg for mercy, because I will not show mercy. Maybe he has experienced too much. For him, Imputa's trick is to fool children. But there are some idiots to be cheated. If it's normal, they challenge Long Chen and we have a fair fight. It's nothing. However, in the 3000 world, people not only have precious time, but also are surrounded by many crises. At this time, the challenge is to want the life of Long Chen. Therefore, as long as someone dares to challenge him without brain, he will kill. It's just that some things need to be agreed in advance. If they don't listen to the warning, they can't blame the dragon dust. When they kill them, Long Chen will feel at ease. Just when he killed He Chang Tian, Long Chen made an amazing discovery, that is, the top of Tiandao tree, bearing a red fruit. On that fruit, there is the rune of fire, and the fruit contains the wave of terror, which is the breath of the supreme power. Long Chen has killed Luo Tianai, the supreme god of the Monroe clan, and Ji Wuing, the blood killer of the hall. However, the Tiandao tree did not respond. Long Chen thought that the fruit of Tiandao tree was limited to the strong people of the early generation. However, He Chang Tian was killed today, and the Tiandao tree produced a strange fruit. The dragon dust was very excited. According to the past experience, this is probably a supreme fruit. Recalling the death of Mo Luo Tianai and Ji Wuing, Long Chen suddenly understands that Ji Wuing's supreme arm has been preserved and has not returned to heaven and earth, so the tree of heaven cannot absorb its power. But Ji Wuing's supreme bone, dragon dust originally wanted to cut down alone, did not want to destroy, but was escaped by it. The heavenly way tree still did not draw strength. When He Chang Tian died, the supreme blood was scattered between heaven and earth. Finally, he was absorbed by Tiandao tree and condensed a supreme heavenly fruit. This discovery surprised Long Chen himself. At that time, he couldn't help but give birth to an idea that made him excited, that is, to kill more supreme powerful people, can we have more supreme heavenly fruits? However, in order to plunder and kill, Long Chen always feels a little awkward. However, Imputa's words directly made him a target of public criticism. While Long Chen was angry, he also had an evil idea. Since you are looking for death, you can't blame me. If you don't dare to fight, you say you don't dare to do so much nonsense. Are you hiding your fear? What's the youngest dean in the history of Lingxiao Academy? It's not bullshit. Wang Tingnao around a superior level sneer, a look of disdain, obviously think that Long Chen is looking for an excuse. Dragon dust, if you want to kill people, just do it. With me, Xia Guhong, no one can turn the sky here. Xia Guhong opened his mouth, which made countless people tremble. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 37:17. Xia Guhong's tone is calm, but full of confidence and unquestionable domineering. Even in the face of Wang Taibei, a former strong enemy, He Hongzhang, a powerful king, and Liao Bensong and Imputa, Xia Guhong dared to say such words, which shocked countless people and filled with admiration at the same time. Xia Guhong, a leading figure of an era, a hero full of legendary color, maybe only such a strong person can have such strong self-confidence, which is the real strong one. I know that Big Brother has that strength, but I still forget it. You see that fat man's eyes are rolling around, just to see me do something, and then give his disciples lessons to study my weakness. In the same generation, I was not afraid of any strong man, but when others dug a hole, I foolishly jumped in, which was equivalent to the plan of the fat man. It was not worth the money. Let him live a little longer. Anyway, I am not in a hurry to ask for the sword. There is no tunnel. Perhaps among all the people, Longchen is most afraid of Empta, because this fat man is more dangerous than anyone else. Although Longchen once had a fight with him in Minghao Tian, he was very cautious and mediocre at that time. Now the more he thinks about it, the more wrong he is. This guy has too many negative moves and has to defend himself. Sea Dragon does so say. Xia Guhong nods, also did not say what. Xia Guhong, I've been looking for you for so many years. So you hid in the Dionysian palace. But are you going to keep hiding? It's better to choose a day than to collide with it. Today we'll have a fight. How about all the gratitude and resentment? Seeing that Longchen refused to fight, Weng Tai North opened his mouth and looked at Xia Guhong with burning eyes. Xia Guhong said faintly, I am now a disciple of Dionysian palace, and I have passed the age of competition. The past enmity and resentment have passed away. Let alone, since my wife left, I have no interest in this kind of struggle. Everyone in the heart of a shock, looking at a king's gas, such as the emperor overlooking the heroes, all secretly sigh. Xia Guhong is such a hero, but he can't pass the love test. After Luo Qingying's death, Xia Guhong's ambition for hegemony has also died. A generation of heroes have no intention of doing things in the world. Now facing the challenge of the old enemy, it has become calm as water. People hope to see Xia Guhong's heroic figure again. What? Once a hero, even take a dead man as an excuse. Xia Guhong, you have fallen. Xia Guhong does not fight, but Weng Tai North still does not give up. Cold tunnel. The story of Xia Guhong and Luo Qingying is a symbol of purity. Xia Guhong's love for Luo Qingying has made countless people admire him. Wang Taibai's use of Luo Qingying to stimulate Xia Guhong is really indecent. Are you going to talk? If you can't speak, just clamp your butt and don't spit. Guo Ran can't expose his anger, pointing to Wang Tai's north and swearing. He is about to rush up to kill people. During the time with Xia Guhong, both Xia Chen and Guo Ran were respectful to this elder brother. Besides Long Chen, they admired him most. Wang Taibei was so excessive that they couldn't help it. I'm low in cultivation. If I'm as good as you, if I don't chop you into meat sauce, they'll take your surname. Guo Ran gnawed his teeth and cursed. Not only Long Chen and others were angry, but many powerful people on the scene glared at Wang Taibei. He was clearly an expert of his predecessors. This is too vicious and lacks the demeanor of an expert. Guo Ran, forget it, a man who has lived for countless years, but has not made any progress. It's meaningless to compete with him. Let's go and have a drink. Seeing Guo Ran swearing and angry, Xia Guhong smiles. He comes to Guo Ran and pats him on the shoulder to make him not too excited. At the same time, he also pats Long Chen and Xia Chen on the shoulder, because he finds that Long Chen's face is gloomy and frightening, and his eyes are killing him. What character is Xia Guhong? At a glance, we can see the idea of Long Chen. At this time, Long Chen wants to agree to fight Weng Tinglao, kill Weng Tinglao, and beat Weng Taibei in the face to make a voice for him. However, Xia Guhong patted Long Chen on the shoulder, and Long Chen took his anger away. Xia Guhong had high self-restraint and didn't take this kind of thing seriously, but he couldn't. Maybe Xia Guhong's demeanor, he could never do it. But Xia Guhong said this, and Long Chen had to suppress his anger. Damn it, wait for me. You can't clean up the old one, but you can't kill the little one? Qingxian has met my predecessors. Xia Guhong comes over, and Yu Qingxian salutes in a hurry. What's your name, elder brother? I'm confused, or you'll have to call me elder. Looking at Yu Qingchuan's polite appearance, Long Chen doesn't know why. Looking at her face, the anger in her heart just now disappeared. She was in a better mood. She laughed and joked. Yes, just call me big brother. Xia Guhong said with a smile. Yu Qingchuan's pretty face was a little hot. Long Chen deliberately asked her to follow him, so as to show their close relationship. Yu Qingxian could not help but make a lovely face at Long Chen and salute Xia Guhong again. Qingxian has met elder brother Guhong. With Yu Qingchuan's appearance, the disciples of the Zhuge Empire behind her rushed to salute one by one, and their eyes were filled with awe and worship. This is a legendary figure, and many powerful people have never been able to see them in their lifetime. After the ceremony, everyone politely said a few words. They went directly back to the restaurant to continue drinking. Wang Taibei and others did not say anything more. They watched Longchen and others leave. A dispute ended with the killing of the emperor's son of the Imperial Seal Empire. Countless people witnessed the fall of Supreme Tianjiao. Although the battle between Longchen and Wang Tiao didn't happen later, it was enough to shock people. Who dares to kill me? Who is my hand? Looking at the back of Longchen's leaving, Wang Tiao is biting his teeth and cold tunnel. Longchen talks wildly but does not respond to the battle, which makes him angry and directly declares that no one else can intervene in their fight. It's a big joke. I'm going to kill him. If you don't accept it, even you will. As a result, Wang Tianyao's words immediately angered Jiuyou Luocha. Young man, don't be too arrogant, or your tongue will flash in the wind. Long Qinyan sneered. Long Chen is the most powerful figure in the Ming Hao Tian, which represents the strongest heaven pride of Ming Hao Tian. No matter who takes off his head, he will become famous and ascend to the sky step by step. Would you let him go because of your words? You are so naive. If you want to kill the dragon dust, let's talk according to your ability. Ji Wuming also opened his mouth. However, he was as insidious as his master and pointed out the benefits of killing Longchen. As Jiuyou Luocha, Long Qinian and Ji Wuming speak, other supreme-level Tianjiao also sneer at each other. They are obviously very dissatisfied with Wang Tianyao's words. Haha, it's a big joke. Anyone who doesn't accept it will come to me and die. Wang Tianyao looked up at the sky and laughed. The thunder sword came out of the sheath again and pointed to the cold tunnel of the heroes. Jiuyou Luocha follows Liao Benkang's words. All Tianjiao hums coldly and slowly disperses, but in Puta's mouth appears a satisfied smile. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.